Comes down to this, East Mississippi looking for a record-tying 6th championship. Iowa Western trying to go back-to-back. It's the 2023 NJCAA Division I Football Championship. College football comes your way tonight from Little Rock, Arkansas. The 2023 NJCAA Division I Football Championship takes center stage at War Memorial Stadium as the defending champion Iowa Western Reavers take on the East Mississippi Lions. A 4-team playoff here in the NJCAA. Iowa Western had a smooth ride through the semis. East Mississippi with a big upset over top-ranked and undefeated Hutchinson to reach tonight's title game. It is great to have you with us alongside the former Penn State and NFL defensive tackle Brandon Noble, Chris Sylvester on hand. Here are two of the powerhouse programs in junior college football. East Mississippi, 5 titles from 11 to 18. Iowa Western appearing in its 3rd consecutive national title game tonight.
Yeah, both of these programs have been here before. Iowa Western, they've been here most recently. Maybe not as much anxiety tonight. Let's
take a look at some of the top prospects that are playing in tonight's game. East Mississippi, former Southern Miss quarterback, leads the NJCAA in passing touchdowns. He's got some dynamic receivers on the outside as well.
Yeah, tons of guys on that list right there. College football coaches all over America are going to be watching this game, and we'll talk a little bit more about them as the game goes on.
Iowa Western Jonathan Humpel has been a terrific freshman running back early in the season as we take a look at tonight's players to watch.
Yeah, Ty Keys, big arm, can move around the pocket, 32 touchdowns, that's huge. And then Joshua Pierre-Louis, the DB that's going to be kind of responsible for shutting down half of the field tonight.
It is a cool night in Little Rock. Temperatures in the low 50s. We did have some precipitation earlier. Should be clear throughout the rest of the night as Iowa Western tries to defend its national title from a season ago. East Mississippi, the dynasty run for the Lions from 2011 to 2018. They won 5 championships during that stretch, including a win over Iowa Western in the national title game 9 years ago.
Yeah, but these are, like you said, 2 of the blue bloods of junior college football. This is a great matchup. I think they've all kind of been like marked it, right, because of that 2014 game and the history here. You know, East Mississippi wants to get back, wants to get that crown again, and Iowa Western's enjoying being here again.
Well, East Mississippi will receive the football first. The 4th NJCAA championship game played here at historic War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. Off we go, and it's Jacoby Moore, the former Mississippi State Bulldog, across the 30-yard line. And that's where the Lion offense will set up shop for the first time tonight. East Mississippi, an explosive offense, more than 37 points per game, more than 400 yards per game, and a pretty balanced attack this year.
Absolutely, because of that guy right there, Ty Keys. Again, big, dynamic, strong arm. But at the end of the day, it's really the way that he moves around in the pocket, extends plays, and then can beat you with his legs and his arm. Again, this guy, controlling him today, the Reavers are going to have their hands full.
Kyron Benjamin, the feature back on the first play from scrimmage. Bad snap. Keys recovers and has to chuck it away.
Well, nerves, right? It's a national championship. This is a huge game right here. Just got a little squirrely right there with the snap. Goes over Keys' head. Good job recovering and just making the right decision, right? Don't force it at the first play of the game. Throw the ball out of bounds and start fresh on 2nd down.
Not the first time we've seen a bad snap to open up a pretty important football game.
It happens. It happens.
2nd and 10 after Keys had to get rid of it. And this Iowa Western defense has been extremely difficult to run against all season long. They only gave up half a yard per carry in the semifinal win over Kilgore College. And that time Kyron Benjamin loses yardage to bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, Kamari Copeland right there, one of the defensive tackles, an interior guy they're really high on. A lot of college programs are going to be watching him play tonight.
So already 3rd and off schedule for East Mississippi. Keys floats it, and it's incomplete. Mac Cordes, the bounce back from Bowling Green, provided the coverage, and Iowa Western, they pitched a shutout in the championship over Hutchinson last season. This dark side defense, as they call it, forces a 3-and-out to open up the 2023 title game.
Yeah, the dark side defense, I mean, that's something they hang their hat on. They take a lot of pride in playing great defense out here, and that was a great start for Iowa Western.
Raymond Blackman was the intended target. Trace Beard handles the punting duties. And Josh Pierre Lewis will bring it across the midfield stripe. So Iowa Western will start in plus territory, and that's often how we've seen this Reaver team have success this season. The defense helps the offense with a short field.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And flipping the field, let's take a look here and see if he dropped it. The forearm hits the ground right there. Yeah, there it is right there. He's down by contact at that point. Good job by the officials bringing the ball back to the 49.
All right, here's Hunter Watson, the first-year starter for Iowa Western. He called Arkansas home the previous 2 seasons at Division II Arkansas Monticello, about 90 miles south of here. Jonathan Humpel, true freshman tailback, with the Reavers' first carry, and he's pushed back after a 3-yard run.
Both of these defenses are really good. And I think one of the things that it's going to be interesting to see where the run game can happen for the Reavers. They try and get out on the edge here. Good job stringing along by the defense. But this East Mississippi team is so fast. Sometimes you've got to attack them right up the middle, run up the gut.
Iowa Western didn't have much trouble in the semifinal win over the 3-seed Kilgore, as Humpel tries that right side again and gets just 2 yards. This East Mississippi Lions defense, they held an explosive Hutchinson offense to just 322 yards of total offense in the semis, had a couple takeaways and forced a big 4-and-out on the game-sealing drive.
Yeah, and again, this is 2 good defenses going at it, and you're seeing it right here. 3rd down now. See if we can convert.
Watson, the redshirt sophomore, 6'3" quarterback from Salina, Texas, currently holds an FCS offer from Texas A&M Commerce. On an option run, Watson keeps it, and he's brought down after a short run. Gang tackled by East Mississippi. The middle of that defense, Alvin Williams, sophomore defensive end from Atlanta, the first to get there. He's got 9 Division I offers.
That's not too bad. That's why right there. You see him getting out there in space. Football's about speed now. It's about being able to run. It's about being able to tackle in space, and you saw Alvin Williams do that right there.
So both sides trade 3-and-outs to open up this title game, and a short punt will make its way out around the 14. Max Bartacek pins the East Mississippi offense back, and we're scoreless early in the Junior College Championship. There's Buddy Stevens, the East Mississippi Lions head coach, 5 national titles, the NJCAA all-time leader in winning percentage. Many, of course, know him best from the first 2 seasons of the Netflix docu-series Last Chance U.
Yeah.
Other side, Scott Strohmeyer, also in his 15th season at Iowa Western. He's led the Reavers to 3 straight title game appearances. 2-time national champ. His 5th trip to the NJCAA title game. What a terrific program he essentially built. He's been there since the inception.
Yeah, both of these guys, they know what they're doing, and they take pride in giving these young men an opportunity to take the next steps and kind of achieve their football goals.
Second drive for the East Mississippi offense. Start at the 13 with play action. Keys on target. Raymond Blackburn out of a tackle, motors across the 30 and shoved out near the 35. The freshman, they call him the joystick, didn't have any catches in the semifinal win over Hutchinson. His 42nd catch of the year, goes for a first down and then some.
We talked a little bit about tackling in space, and you saw Alvin Williams do it on the last set for East Mississippi defensively, and you're getting a little tempo here too. So things are going to go fast tonight, and East Mississippi uses tempo strategically, right? You get a big first down, and then all of a sudden you get to the line of scrimmage and you run the football, trying to keep the defense kind of back on its heels a little bit. But tackling in space is going to be huge tonight for the Reavers defense.
That was the first carry of the night for Jalen Jennings, a transfer from Bowling Green. 15 carries in the semifinal win. Keys on target again, Marcus Harris, sophomore bounce back from Kent State. He had 4 catches, 20 yards in the semifinal victory in Kansas. Nice 6'3" target from Radcliffe, Kentucky, with 3 FCS offers.
You see that arm strength right there by Keys. I mean, he threw an absolute rope out there for a nice, fast completion.
Keys, who threw a pair of incompletions on the game's opening drive, 2 for 2 on the second drive. Another tunnel screen. This is complete, and East Mississippi into Reaver territory for the first time tonight. Jacoby Moore bounce back from Mississippi State.
So many weapons out there. And here we go. Look, Cameron Wright, he had a huge day against Hutch. 3 touchdowns, wide receiver, makes huge plays deep down the field, catches the ball everywhere. And Pettis, the defensive end, he's going to be a guy that has to handle keeping Keys in the pocket and under pressure.
All right, now Keys is driving this thing like a push to start as he finds Jacoby Moore again, this time for a first down to the 41. Iowa Western limited Kilgore to just 180 yards of total offense in the semifinal round. The bulk of that through the air. They only had 18 rushing yards on 30 carries against this Reaver defense. Jennings tried the right side, and a flag down, our first penalty of the game after a 2-yard run. Injured offensive lineman for East Mississippi. That's the right tackle, Karsten Upchurch.
Number 74, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Upchurch, the highest rated prospect on the offensive line. Big 6'5", 290-pound right tackle. 8 Division I offers, and currently being attended to by the Lion training staff.
There's Ladarius Jordan. He got the holding call, and as we keep an eye here on Upchurch, again, heck of a football player. He's a guy that's definitely come on and made a name for himself. Glad he's up and moving.
The hold was on his neighbor, the right guard Ladarius Jordan, the 6'1", 300-pound Gulfport, Mississippi native.
Got his eyes outside, his hands outside at the point of attack right there. Again, you know, if that's going away, he's got Clev Lubin right there by the shoulders, and you see the cloth, and the ball's going right there, so it gets called. But, you know, look, it happens every play. It just depends on, can you get away with it or not.
What a monster year Clev Lubin has put together. He was at Army last season, one of 2 Black Knights that went in the transfer portal, wound up at Iowa Western. Second catch for Marcus Harris. He's got 44 catches this year. That's second most on the team behind Cam Wright.
East Mississippi's having success right now, getting the ball outside. It's basically an extension of the run game, right? You pick the ball up, you throw it out there, you let your guys run around in space.
6 yards on the pass play to get some of that penalty yardage back. Second down long. Keys buying time and throws it away. First target for Cam Wright tonight. He had the game-winning catch inside of a minute to beat Hutchinson a week and a half ago.
One of the challenges tonight, Chris, is going to be keeping Keys in the pocket. You want to squeeze the pocket down. They run a little ET game here. The end comes underneath right there. You see it, it's Lubin, but the tackle doesn't get outside to kind of keep Keys in the pocket. It lets him get outside, extend the play. Now you put pressure on the back end, but good job in coverage right there by Pierre Lewis.
East Mississippi needs the Iowa Western 31 for a new set of downs. The Reavers rush 4. Keys in trouble, and down he goes. Back at the 46-yard line. The 59th sack of the year for the Iowa Western defense. And it's Jalen Pettis with his 8th.
Watch this pass rush game. Look, you get a double ET game going, but they cross-contain with the tackles. The guards don't know who to block. Pettis is in there scot-free. This is one of my favorite games right here. Great job by Pettis with pad level. We talked about him getting after the quarterback tonight, and there he is.
Jalen Pettis recently committed to South Florida. Not a good punt here from Trace Beard. Does take a friendly bounce inside the 25. These defenses on display early. Jalen Pettis, the South Florida commit, keeps it scoreless. Well, bowl season kicks off Saturday, 7 games on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. The ESPN quadruple header starts at 11 a.m. Eastern, Georgia Southern and Ohio, followed by Jacksonville State and Louisiana. Then it's New Mexico State and Fresno State. We cap the day with Cal and Texas Tech in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl coming up on Saturday, part of Capital One Bowl Mania. It is Championship Wednesday tonight in the NJCAA. The 4-seed East Mississippi took down top seed Hutchinson. 2-seed Iowa Western, the defending national champs. And there's the first catch for L.J. Fitzpatrick, sophomore from Ocala, Florida. He opened up the scoring in last season's national title game with a 69-yard house call.
Ripped one, absolutely took it to the house on that first play last year.
23rd catch of the season for Fitzpatrick in his second season with the Reavers. Watson pumps a couple of times, now a check down, and the catch made for a first down. Second completion for Hunter Watson, and it's Latrell Bonner, the redshirt sophomore from St. Louis.
Just a little mesh route here. They're running people all across the defense, getting people in front. There's a little sit right there. He sits right down in the middle of it. Bonner does. Watson just took forever to get it to him.
Bonner had a 37-yard touchdown catch in the semis. Loses the football here, and it takes a fortuitous ricochet over to his teammate Jonathan Humple, the running back.
Happy birthday, Reavers right there. That was lucky. Again, you're seeing it from both teams. Just a little bubble screen, a little screen out here. Quick pick it up and throw. Ball gets ripped out. Great job right there, ripping that football out.
Marcus
Ross, yep.
Sophomore linebacker with 10 FBS offers, including Liberty, Mississippi State, and Arizona State most recently. Watson throws again. Another ricochet, this time to a big guy up front. Caleb Jones, the sophomore right guard.
He's going to remember
what
that
in the world is happening right now?
He doesn't know either. He was like, oh my goodness, what just happened right there? That's absurd. Again, a quick pass, right? Come up, boom, get the pass. I mean, it almost looks intentional, but it's not. Holy smokes. Receiver loses it right into Mr. Jones's belly.
That kind of what Kelsey and Kadarius Toney were trying to accomplish over the weekend?
I think so. That was amazing.
The 3rd down and 7 for Hunter Watson. He's in trouble and sacked with a late flag flying in. East Mississippi brings down Hunter Watson in the backfield. The LSU commit Sean Washington and Ashun Shepard combined to bring him down.
Yeah, Shepard does a good job. Just being relentless. Part of being a D lineman is.
Mississippi number 95, 15-yard penalty.
And that is Sean Washington, who was at Georgia last season and headed to LSU. Apparently got part of Watson's face mask, and that will keep the drive alive and move it into plus territory for Iowa Western.
Yeah, he just grabs it right there. Grabs him right by the side, kind of the cheek of the helmet right there. That was a great rush by Washington. It's a shame. That stinks as a D lineman. When you do all that work and you get him off the field, really, at the end of the day, and then, you know, just the big paw hits the helmet.
Another play for Iowa Western in plus territory. Jonathan Humple stays upright.
Humple
right inside the 20.
Great run right there by Humple. Good job by the offensive line. You know, Coach Strode talked about whether they're going to run gap or some zone, and there's Humple right there showing up, and showing Washington, right, the last 2 plays. You know, impact players definitely in both ways. Washington with a big pressure and sack that gets negated by a face mask, and you see Humple right there rip one up the middle.
22-yard run for Humple, who's from Council Bluffs, where Iowa Western is located. Watson pumps, taking a shot, end zone. It's a catch. It's a touchdown for Iowa Western. Bryant Williams, the tailback who ran in 2 touchdowns in last year's title game, catches the 19-yard scoring pass from Hunter Watson.
Great catch, great throw by Watson, just tossing it right up into the bucket. And great concentration and getting the feet down there by Bryant Williams. Getting a running back running routes it's a matchup issue for your safeties and your linebackers.
Williams had 22 carries, 2 touchdowns in last season's national title game. Before he carries tonight, he catches a 19-yard touchdown, and the extra point bangs off the upright, and it's missed by Max Barticek. 6-0, Iowa Western. The defending national champs strike first. Bryant Williams with another end zone trip here in Little Rock.
Great start for the Reavers offense.
No, the Reavers from Iowa Western in the point column first. A dazzling pass from Hunter Watson to Bryant Williams from 19 yards out.
Yeah, it really was, and great effort by Williams to get his foot in bounds. Great catch, and a nice pass. And you know, Hunter Watson's been under duress, so the offensive line did a great job there, letting him sit in the pocket and toss that football in. And huge strike right there, and what looked like it was going to be an absolute defensive struggle for the beginning of the first quarter.
Very impactful face mask penalty on the future LSU Tiger. Sean Washington allowed that drive to continue, and just a couple of plays later, Iowa Western found pay dirt.
Yeah, and that's huge. In a game like this, those little mistakes turn out to be huge mistakes, and you pay for them.
Barticek, who missed the extra point. And here comes Marcus Harris, zigzagging. Harris is loose. Harris still on his feet. Down the sideline, Marcus Harris. Touchdown, East Mississippi. A 91-yard kick return. And a lightning quick response from the Lions.
Wow. Special teams, it's something we so rarely talk about especially when you're kind of diagnosing and talking about a matchup, and it's such a huge part of the game. We saw the missed extra point right after the Reavers touchdown, and now you've got this absolutely beautiful kickoff return right here.
Jalen York
with
the kicker down. Barticek, who had missed the extra point moments ago before that timeout, and is slow to get back as the officials discuss what happened on that kick return, but no flags.
Nope, no flags. Great return. You saw the speed right there of York. Once he got through that first level of defenders, he was gone.
York, the Frosh from Starkville, had Barticek to beat, and he beat him.
That's so big, and this is a huge extra point. It's going to go back. You know, look, that 1 point, that missed extra point by Iowa Western after that first touchdown, those come back to get you every once in a while.
Nothing the Reaver defense could do to try and uphold the 6-0 edge, and East Mississippi quickly takes a first quarter lead. Well, the Lions in this national title game for the first time since 2018, they lost 2 games early in the season, wound up getting hot at the right time, and avenged those 2 losses in the MACC playoffs.
It's huge. Look, in football, especially college football, losing a couple early doesn't kill you as long as you rebound, and you can be a completely different football team at the end right there. But I mean, look at that offense, right? I mean, 37 points per game, 4th in the NJCAA, over 400 yards a game. I mean, they know what they're doing there. There's no doubt about it. But a way to kind of turn the season. You lose a couple, you have some adversity, you get an opportunity to get some revenge, and you do, and you find yourself in the national championship game.
So Buddy Stevens' team by way of special teams.
Yep.
And it's going to be tough to move the football, score the football against Iowa Western's defense. East Mississippi will absolutely take it as LJ Fitzpatrick from the goal line.
Oh.
Now it's Josh Pierre-Louis to the outside. Lewis doing his best Jalen York impression, and he spun down just shy of the midfield marker. A little trickery on the kick return for Iowa Western, and both special teams shining in this opening quarter.
Yeah, Pierre Lewis right there ends up with the ball after it gets handed to a couple other people right there. You see the returner hands it to him, Pierre Lewis gets the ball, goes around the corner. Great job by the Lions special teams unit kind of rallying and recovering there and running to the football, because that's the kind of, you know, trick play that can get you, especially after a big emotional play on your side where you score.
Iowa Western 11-1, the lone blemish in the regular season finale at top-ranked Hutchinson. Lost that game by a couple touchdowns. They did have some key injuries. Got those guys back and healthy and won by 40 points over the 3-seed Kilgore in the semis. Hunter Watson is absolutely walloped after a short run. Roscoe Malloy.
Roscoe Malloy, look at this, right in the middle here. Right, these two interior defensive tackles do a good job of kind of collapsing things down. Hunter Watson doesn't fool anybody. Roscoe Malloy says hello. 6'1", 290-pound defensive tackle wearing number 45. That's beautiful.
Jonathan Humpel with some room across the right side. And it will set up Iowa Western with 3rd down 3, stopped by Ashun Shepard, the Mississippi State commit.
Yeah, that's a nice run right there by Humpel. You see why he's so dangerous. You know, when he gets his shoulder pads squared up and starts running north and south, he hits the hole with some acceleration and some violence.
Saw Humpel with a 22-yard run to set up the touchdown on the Reavers' most recent possession. Watson with a quick dump off over the middle. Catch made, 1st down, Iowa Western. And Nate Sullivan, South Dakota State bounce back. The tight end hauls in his first catch of the night.
Yeah, they were bringing a little pressure there, the Lions were defensively, and Watson does a really nice job of finding Sullivan right there in that little crossing route. Got him matched up against a linebacker, and that's what they'll take right there.
9-yard catch and run for the 6'3" tight end from Bellevue, Nebraska. Had a 70-yard touchdown against top-ranked Hutchinson in the regular season finale. Jonathan Humpel once more, and this time stacked up after a short run. Roscoe Malloy in the middle of it again for the East Mississippi defense. Keevy Thompson in year 2 coordinating this Lions defense. Previously the defensive coordinator at West Alabama and Hines Community College. You know, Buddy Stevens feels like the defense has grown so much from the start of the season. He says the key for this group is not watching paint dry and continuing to move around on defense. More trickery from the Reavers on the double reverse. It will put Iowa Western in the red zone. And it's Louis Brooks, the redshirt freshman from Des Moines. That's a 25-yard run.
Pull out all the stops, right? This is the last game of the year for all the marbles. You see a little reverse here, a little option look, and the pitch ends up turning into a reverse right there. Louis Brooks coming around the corner. Gets a nice block out here on the edge.
And Markham just outside the 10-yard line, so there is another 1st down to pick up just ahead of the goal line. Humpel on the toss play, lowers his shoulder. And he's met and drilled at the 9-yard line. A 2-yard run, Tyrone Stewart. And Sean Washington get there for the defense.
Look at that, a 64% down in the red zone. This Iowa Western offense, pretty good. It's good work down there. They need to punch this one in again, kind of get the momentum back, and you know, it'd be interesting to see when they start going for 2 after they missed that extra point on the last one.
A group that should be comfortable playing in close football games. They have 5 one-possession wins this year. Watson rolls, being chased, and gets rid of it.
They were trying to get to a throwback right there. They were rolling Watson out to the right, and they ran kind of a mesh crossing route concept with one receiver working back to the offensive left. You're going to see him kind of come out of that bunch, and there's Watson, stops his feet, but the pressure is right there. There's Malloy again, right on top of him. Roscoe's been active. You see the receiver get back to the left over there. He can't even get back there.
Xavier Hardy, who was a 4-star recruit out of high school, committed to South Carolina, still intends on being a Gamecock in 2025, forced the pressure on Watson.
30% off for 3rd down. I ain't gonna cut it tonight. Oh, there we go.
A handoff. It's Humpel sledgehammering towards the end zone, and he's marked inside the 1. and that will be a new set of downs for Iowa Western.
I like that. That's a good call down here in the red zone. You know you can get a first down. It's third down. You're probably thinking pass defensively. You run a little kind of counter gap scheme up inside. Oh.
Humple again, and this time East Mississippi brings him down for a loss.
There were white jerseys flying in the backfield almost immediately as the ball was snapped right there. Humple didn't have any place to go with that.
Bakari McCall, sophomore safety, came from the secondary.
Yeah. Safety blitz is always great, man. The thing about sending a safety is he is never accounted for in the blocking scheme, in the run front or the pass front, right? Or the pass protection.
We haven't seen this work much outside of the city of brotherly love as they shove Watson. And he is in. A tush-push touchdown for Iowa Western in the NJCAA championship.
That's a good drive. That's a great answer. Couple trick plays, and here you see a little quarterback sneak. I'm sorry, I refuse to call it what everybody likes to call it. Back in the 1900s, that was just a quarterback sneak, and that's what I prefer to call it. So that's a terrible place to be as a D lineman when you know that's coming. I spent a lot of time underneath piles like that, unfortunately. But great drive right there by Iowa Western.
Hunter Watson's 7th rushing touchdown of the year. And flags down before the extra point splits the uprights.
The point after kick is good. There is a penalty flag all over the attempt.
On the defense, coverage decline. Touchdown snap. Extra point is good.
Extra point good, this time from...
Too many guys out there for the Lions defense, and here's the QB sneak. Right, you see everybody just kind of wedge out of there. Again, that as a defensive lineman, that is an absolute nightmare. It is no fun at all. You see, you kind of get either submarine and go down on the ground, right, or you stand up and get kind of washed out of there. Great job by that Reavers offensive line to wedge the Lions D-line out of there and allow Watson to kind of shimmy into the end zone. Great drive, great answer to that explosive kick return right there with a couple of explosive plays on their own. A little reverse, a reverse on the kickoff return. I like it.
Lane Firefield will handle the kicking duties with Max Barticek sidelined. Remember, he was hurt on the Jalen York 91-yard kick return for a touchdown. Then it will be Firefield, the redshirt freshman from Council Bluffs in Iowa, to kick it off after a 10-play, 53-yard scoring drive.
You know, when you're a backup, right? When you're sitting there waiting your turn, it's hard because it can get old, it can get cold, and you get stiff. And for a kicker to come in and kick the ball, you know, hopefully he got a couple good swings over there on the sideline. Up flag on the play.
Well, this will be a delay of game on Iowa Western for taking too much time on the kickoff. And now with the backup kicker, you already watched East Mississippi return a kick for a touchdown. I mean, what's the game plan here?
Well, I mean, look,
Play game. Iowa Western, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
You just try to float this thing to an up back?
Well, I mean, you try not to kick it to Jalen York again if you can help it. But at this point, right, you've just put yourself a little bit further behind the 8 ball. I wouldn't be surprised to see this ball go to the kicker's left here, maybe.
Well, Iowa Western led 28-0 at the end of one quarter in the semis. They will try and hold a 6-point lead in the final 24 seconds of tonight's opening quarter. Harris will pick it up. And down he goes shy of the 30-yard line.
Nice tackle. Special teams is, again, it's a huge part of the game. We saw the kick return. We saw a missed extra point. It's a big deal. And guys that play special teams take pride in it. You see this nice tackle in space. And that's what you do right there. You kind of squib it That ball could have gone out of bounds. There's no doubt about it. But he picked it up and ran it, and nice tackle.
Sean Gary Jr., reserve running back on special teams, dropped Marcus Harris at the 29. Now, this is the third possession for East Mississippi's offense. A pair of punts after the first two.
Oh.
Harris absolutely bulldozed for a loss. Sam Robertson, the redshirt sophomore corner, lowered the shoulder.
Yikes. There's a little RPO right there with a little counter action, and he was not fooled at all.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Another tackle for loss racked up by the dark side defense. And the defending national champs, Iowa Western, finished the first quarter on top. 13-7, the Reavers lead the Lions after 15 minutes of football in the 2023 NJCAA Division I National Championship. Well, Saturday is the start of bowl season. 7 games on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN+. The ABC triple header starts at noon Eastern with Howard and Florida A&M in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Then Miami of Ohio takes on App State in the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. And we finish up with the UCLA and Boise State in the Starco Brands LA Bowl at SoFi Stadium. I think Gronk is hosting the LA Bowl this year. Reaver fans making the 9-10 hour ride from Council Bluffs, Iowa, just a stone's throw from the Nebraska state line, and a route that they have to be familiar with at this point. This is Iowa Western's third straight trip to Little Rock as the ball comes loose, but Cam Wright is ruled down. First catch for Cam Wright, who had 3 touchdown grabs against Hutchinson in the upset semifinal victory.
Yeah, he's a guy that they know is going to catch the football. You see him catch it, and I think that, nope, yeah. From that angle, it's tough to tell because you can't see the ball, but you kind of feel like.
And Scott Strohmeyer is going to take time out so the officials can take a second look at this.
It's under review.
All right. Here we go.
Keep in mind that this is an Iowa Western defense with 37 takeaways this year.
Yeah, that's tough. It looks like he's down as the ball comes out. Looks like he's kind of on his back. He's got the, I don't know, maybe that angle actually, maybe not. This one's a tough one to tell. You see the ball, they do a great job of ripping that ball.
Matt Cordes, the bounce back from Bowling Green, who started the season as a strong safety and has since moved to linebacker, punched it out.
Yep, and that angle right there looks like it could be a fumble.
Cordes was on last year's national title team.
Call on the field, stands. Second out.
Yeah.
They're not conclusive enough to overturn it.
But one thing you do defensively, and you see it a lot now because they let you play. As a defensive player, as a defensive coach, you're always preaching, pick the ball up and make the officials make a decision, right? They might be wrong.
So East Mississippi facing third down again. The Lion offense 0 for 2 on third down tonight. Keys over the middle, bobbled by Harris, and incomplete. No catch. Giovanni Szymanski, redshirt freshman safety, jarred it loose.
Yeah, Szymanski does a nice play right there. Great job driving on the football. That ball was thrown a little bit off right there by Keys. You see it a little bit behind the receiver. Gives Szymanski a chance to come up and hit him. All right, Marcus Harris wasn't able to control that thing.
Trace Beard has been summoned for a third time. More pressure from Iowa Western. And it will bounce inside the 30. Call it dead at the 26.
It's 0 for 3 on third down right now for East Mississippi is a big deal. You got to kind of establish it. You know, look at that. Ooh. Look at it. 91-yard touchdown return on a kickoff and 46 total yards on offense. So special teams saving the day right now for the Lions against this dark side defense.
You think Iowa and you think defense, right?
Yeah.
And that's the case for this Iowa Western program. Mike Blackburn has been with Scott Strohmeyer from the jump in his 15th season coordinating the defense. Bryant Williams with absolutely nowhere to go. A 5-yard loss on his first carry. Jalen Durgin, sophomore defensive end with 3 Division I offers, racks up his 6th tackle for loss this year.
Yeah, this is a nice play. This East Mississippi defense is fast. Watch them run right here. Great job kind of corralling things right there and getting everybody pointed. Marcus Ross does a great job of kind of boxing that thing and letting Durgin come make the play.
2nd down 15. Watson dumps it off. It's another tackle for loss. And it's Durgin again.
Busy. Nice recognition on that little screen right there. Watson was trying to get the ball out. Little screen behind us. Again, fast defense. You run reverses, you run screens. Tried to get the ball out there. I think it was Williams.
Yeah, back-to-back plays. Bryant Williams has been planted for a loss. He caught the 19-yard touchdown to lift the lid off the scoring in the opening quarter, but no luck on back-to-back plays. Now it's 3rd and 16. A designed run for Watson, and he doesn't have much. Back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's all for Hunter Watson. And the East Mississippi defense rises to the occasion. Iowa Western goes 3 and out.
Yeah, good answer there by the Lions defense, and you know, good pressure. Great job running to the football. Great job tackling. That play on the screen by Durgin, again, 2 in a row. The play on the screen was huge.
We'll see if Jalen York can help spark East Mississippi again. Lane Firefell has taken over the kicking duties, and York will not touch it. A friendly roll all the way down to the 25. 48-yard punt from Lane Firefell, thrown into the fire here in the national title game. 6-point lead for Iowa Western. Well, tonight, East Mississippi appearing in its first national title game since 2018. This was in Pittsburgh, Kansas. They took on Garden City, and this was an absolute slugfest.
Yeah, it was definitely a defensive battle. Right, Everett Cunningham ends up forcing the NJCAA rushing leader Charles West to fumble. Right, scoops it up and scores. They end up winning 10-9.
That was kind of the end of the dynasty for Buddy Stevens and company. 5 national championships for this East Mississippi program from 2011 to 2018. This is their first appearance since that 2018 10-9 victory in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Arkansas a little closer to home in Scuba, Mississippi. Jacoby Moore hauls it in. Short reception, Legend Doggett makes the stop for the Reaver defense. Jacoby Moore, an interesting story. 6'4" receiver, redshirted his first college season at Mississippi State, then planned to walk on at Ole Miss before enrolling at East Mississippi. So he's toured his home state throughout his college career. And East Mississippi, they find themselves in this 3rd down, somewhat off-schedule predicament once more against Iowa Western's defense.
Tried a little QB run right there, and Keys wasn't able to get out of the hands of Clev. Clev Lubin did a great job again. This Malik Reed, you saw him there, number 45. This dark side defense is playing right now.
3rd down, 7. Keys flushed out. He's got wheels. Ty Keys, 1st down and more. Across the midfield stripe. Loses the football, but he was down. Ty Keys, first time we've seen the former Southern Miss quarterback show off the wheels.
One of the things when you're running pass rush games up front, you're going to see it here. That defensive end at the top of your screen comes underneath. The D tackle comes outside, and sometimes those big fellas aren't able to get outside fast enough, and Keys takes advantage of it right there. They used a little tempo, got to the line of scrimmage fast, but got a flag on the play.
False start.
Yeah.
East Mississippi, number 2 was never set. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
When you're going fast, that happens sometimes. Everybody has to be set for a count before you can snap the ball, right? So you run to the line of scrimmage, right? Yep, you're trying to hurry up, and you're going to see probably down here at the bottom maybe, the receiver's still moving. See how he's not done? He's got to have his feet set.
24-yard run for Keys on the play prior. Now Jennings has some room along the right side. Jalen Jennings appeared in 4 games as a true freshman. Was able to retain the red shirt at Bowling Green last season. 5'10", 210-pound tailback from Columbus, Ohio. He and Kyron Benjamin have taken the bulk of the carries for East Mississippi this year. That's too tall for Cam Wright. The pressure was coming on Ty Keys. Had to get rid of it off that back foot.
Yeah, they were trying to get Cam Wright running before the snap of the ball. They brought him in motion underneath things and ran him underneath the linebackers there. But he was running fast, and if Keys is able to get that ball to him, he's got a lot of green, it's not grass, turf in front of him now, and he's maybe still running.
The Ty Keys 24-yard run was East Mississippi's first 3rd down conversion of the game. He slings it middle, and it's too high for Raymond Blackman.
That's 2 in a row that have been a little high right there by Keys. And sometimes when you're getting a lot of pressure, that happens. The quarterback doesn't want to set his feet. He's not comfortable in the pocket, right? So, and he's, look, the other thing is when you throw the ball high, right, all of a sudden those DBs come crashing down on the receivers. That's not a whole lot of fun from what I understand if you're a receiver.
Yeah, Sam Robertson plowed him into the turf after the ball sailed over his head. Northern Illinois bounced back. Also spent a couple seasons in the FCS at North Dakota. Blocked punt. And still loose at the 38-yard line.
Pettis.
Jalen Pettis, who had a sack earlier. The South Florida commit on special teams for Iowa Western.
I think this is just punt safe, meaning like that's just their defense out there. That's Pettis playing defensive end, just giving some effort. Oh man, it's some that ball, man. If it's not bounced, look, this is just punt safe. Like that's all it is. That's their defense. Pettis lines up wide, comes out here, blocks the kick, which is amazing in itself, and then at some point you just got to go down and get it, big fella. You got to bend your knees and scoop down. That ball bounces so funny sometimes. Great job, great effort by Pettis. I love it right there. You get the turnover belt. It's a huge play. Flipping the field on special teams.
Both sides have had big plays from special teams. Watson gets it back, wings it deep, and a huge hit inside the 10. There are no flags as Navian Cargill was walloped.
Cargill took a shot right there. He's looking back for that ball, and man, what a shot.
Shannon Blair,
yeah.
Frosh corner, who at one point was a Michigan State commit back in high school before he tore his ACL. And things are getting chippy between these two in the second quarter tonight.
These are 2 fast, physical defenses. This is fun to watch.
This is Bryant Williams, his first positive carry. And he stopped right near the line to gain at the 29-yard line. They'll give it to him. So Williams, who had his first carry go backwards 5 yards, goes forward 10 yards here to move the chains.
Nice run, but a really nice tackle. Again, Shannon Blair comes up 6'1", 190. Really, it's nice to see cornerbacks tackle.
Toss play, it's Williams again. And not much on the perimeter against
Then I think it's
the East Mississippi defense.
Blair again, the cornerback coming up. Look, that you talk about kind of raising your stock a little bit in a game like this. If you're a corner and you can come up and tackle people like that, again, big hit right on the fade, which is an easy hit, but to come in and kind of secure the box like that is huge.
Blair wound up walking on for his season after he tore his ACL and decommitted from Michigan State as a true freshman last year. Didn't play much at Rocky Top, and you hear so much about junior college football, guys betting on themselves, and that has absolutely been Shannon Blair's story this year with East Mississippi. Watson slings it on target. Bryant Williams, another touchdown. His second tonight. And he is made for the moment. 2 touchdowns last year. He's got 2 touchdown catches in the 2023 title game.
Nice pass by Hunter Watson. Bringing Williams out of the backfield. You see him right there, released to the left of your screen. He's running a little rail route, right? You got a receiver out there kind of distracting the corner, right? And you run the rail route right in between the receiver and the safety, or the corner and the safety. Nobody's there.
Lane Fairfile able to knock it through.
The point after kick is good.
Iowa Western, 14 unanswered points. They've got a 2-score lead.
Yeah, huge play right there by Bryant Williams. Great pass by Hunter Watson. This Reavers offense is playing pretty well. 3 receptions, 42 yards, 2 touchdowns.
27. Iowa Western on top. Junior college football national championship rolls along from Little Rock.
And we're back. There's a really, really good look at a well-designed play by the Reavers offense. You're going to see 2 receivers to the bottom and to the top, and they're going to run this little rail route right here. And you see how the tight end takes the safety's eyes away, the receiver takes the corner's eyes away, and you got Bryant Williams running right up the seam for a nice, easy throw and touchdown.
Bryant Williams ran in 2 touchdowns in Iowa Western's championship victory last season over Hutchinson. He has caught 2 first-half touchdowns from Hunter Watson tonight, and Watson's had his fingerprints all over the 3 Reavers scores. He ran one in from a yard out, and 2 touchdown tosses to his redshirt sophomore tailback Bryant Williams. Lane Fairfile will handle the kickoff again for Iowa Western. It's a line drive, and it is Marcus Harris with a nice return, still going across the 40, and finally dragged and dropped at the 44. So this will give East Mississippi's offense a short field, and they'd like to see some movement on this side of things. Their only touchdown courtesy of a Jalen York 91-yard kick return back in the opening quarter.
Yeah, this Reavers defense has been tough to move the ball against, and what they're doing is they're getting East Mississippi into 3rd and longs, and they're not able to convert. And so you saw Keys get out of the pocket on one and get going, but look at that. I mean, 8 for 14, 55 yards, and no interceptions. That's big. That rush, 3 rushes for 15. That one long one was their only 3rd down conversion.
Kyron Benjamin, nowhere to go, and tossed down. Nathan Hale, the sophomore defensive end from Wichita.
Nice play right there. You're going to see him
Timeout. East Mississippi.
Oh.
It's their first timeout.
coming from the inside out there. The defensive tackle does a nice work. Again, that's a little kind of read, kind of an option look right there. The QB has the option to keep it depending on what the defensive end does. Defensive end crashed. He handed it off. Well played there.
Buddy Stevens burning his first opening half timeout with 7:44 to play, as you get a look at Nathan Hale receiving Division II interest, and tonight on a national stage, a chance to boost his stock. You think Reaver fans just book hotel rooms this time of year in Little Rock?
Probably.
You look at the notable alumni. Iowa Western, this program's only been around for a decade and a half. It's been remarkable what they've been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
And that list of alumni will grow year by year.
Yeah, one of my favorite players to watch is Andrew Van Ginkel, the Dolphins outside linebacker, defensive end on Sundays. That guy absolutely gets after it.
That's batted down, incomplete. This front seven has been
dominant,
ridiculously active. Capri Wilson, redshirt sophomore from Waterloo, got his paw on it, and Third down, a dozen yards to go for East Mississippi, and they haven't had much luck running the football tonight. 7 carries for 25 yards as a team. And that's put their offense in some pass predictable circumstances. They rush 4, tight pocket, and Keys is brought down. It's Capri Wilson again. He was on the national title team last year.
This D-line absolutely gets after you. They come after you in waves too. Again, they're probably 10 deep. They're running the same games. This little ET game, they're sending the defensive ends underneath and the tackles wrap around. And what that does is it collapses the pocket from the outside in. So as Keys tries to step up, he runs into 2, 3, 4 defensive linemen.
Last time Trace Beard punted, it was blocked by Jalen Pettis. This one has some hang time, but it's not very deep, as Josh Pierre-Louis signals fair catch around the 32. 6 minutes, 53 seconds left to play, second quarter in the NJCAA National Championship. Well, bowl season begins Saturday with 7 games on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. This is the ESPN quadruple header starting at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's Georgia Southern and Ohio, followed by Jacksonville State and Louisiana. Then it's New Mexico State, Fresno State, before we cap the day with Cal and Texas Tech in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl from Shreveport, Louisiana. Here in Little Rock, Arkansas at War Memorial Stadium, Championship Wednesday in the NJCAA. Chris Sylvester with former Penn State and NFL defensive tackle Brandon Noble. Producer Joel Kate, director Eric Singer, as Hunter Watson and Iowa Western start at the 32. Watson stumbling, staying upright across the midfield marker, and spun out inside the East Mississippi 40. Well, he's got that escapability, and he runs for 29 yards to open the possession.
When you're playing a fast defense, sometimes running right at him is the best way to go, and you get a little jet action there, a little QB counter read. Hunter Watson right here. Oh, look, come on, stay up, big fella. That's a great job keeping his feet. The turf monster didn't get him.
They'll try Watson in the running game again, and they'll have more success with it. Watson carrying the pile right near the line to gain, and they will give him the first down at the East Mississippi 29. Now, Watson, who spent time here in Arkansas at a Division II program, Arkansas Monticello, and they tried to turn him into a wide receiver last year, and when he jumped into the transfer portal and reached out to Iowa Western, they saw him as a quarterback, and he's been able to bet on himself and boost his stock. He's got an FCS offer from Texas A&M Commerce. New set of downs. Watson lofts it. It is caught, but out of bounds.
Oh, you had him. The ball was just a little bit outside right there. LJ Fitzpatrick. Yep, but wide open again. You see him out there on the edge. There's a busted coverage right there because he was all by himself, but that was definitely out of bounds. Watson's going to watch tape of that one tomorrow and wish he had it back. Nothing Fitzpatrick could do about that one right there.
Brylan Lanier, transfer from Indiana, with 3 tackles for loss in the semifinal win at Hutch, is being attended to. 3 Division I offers. Just visited Raleigh, North Carolina, and NC State over the weekend. That ought to be tough, right? You're getting ready to play in a national title game, but you still got to take your visits because we're getting close to that early signing period.
Day. Yeah, and you got to take advantage of the offer and the opportunity when it presents itself.
I tell you, that portal is moving quickly.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
What, over 1,000 names in the transfer portal on the first official day?
Like drinking from a fire hose.
There's Keevy Thompson, year 2, previously the DC at West Alabama and Hines Community College. Oof. Jonathan Humple is wrestled for a loss. Ashun Shepard, the Mississippi State commit. The offer is still rolling in. Had the coaching change down in Starkville a few weeks ago, and others are trying to see if he wants to change his mind before the early signing day.
Yeah, and a little bear front there. They covered everybody up. Doesn't let you get a double team. You saw Shepard right there hit the gap, make a big tackle for loss. That's huge, right? Keeping this Reavers defense behind the sticks, 2nd and 10. Now you're empty. Now you got to be worried about that Hunter Watson run all of a sudden if you're the Lions defense.
9th tackle for loss this season for Ashun Shepard, who had a sack, forced fumble, and fumble recovery in the semifinal win.
Timeout. Iowa Western. It's their first timeout they have.
Well, with the kicking injury for Iowa Western, you'd have to imagine this might not be field goal
right.
range.
Yeah, this may be, 4-down territory right here. So yeah, maybe you go empty. Maybe you do run Hunter Watson again, see if you can get 5 or 6 yards, and then see where you are on 4th down, and go either in a position to throw a nice easy pass or maybe run the football again.
Well, this is the 2nd time that these programs have met in the NJCAA title game. 2014, Iowa Western and East Mississippi played in the Mississippi Bowl. This was before the 4-team playoff. Chad Kelly, who went on to have a terrific career at Ole Miss, threw 5 touchdowns in that game. Recently won the CFL's Most Outstanding Player Award earlier this year. He's still doing it.
That's pretty awesome. Look at this. What a game.
This was a couple years after Iowa Western captured its first national title. East Mississippi back in 2014. What a stretch that was.
Yeah.
They went undefeated 3 times in 4 seasons. 3rd and long out of the timeout. LJ Fitzpatrick adjusts and hauls it in.
Great throw by Watson right there.
He goes out of bounds.
A beautiful back shoulder toss. LJ Fitzpatrick out of bounds at the 5.
They had 3 receivers out to the right there, to the left on the screen, right? And they ran some sort of the offense likes to call it a rub route. Defensively, you call it a pick. They kind of muddled everything up, and a really, really nice throw by Watson out there on the edge.
What a call out of the timeout from Tristan Spear. Sean Gary Jr., the 3rd-string tailback. He tried to get East Mississippi's defense confused, and the Lions were quick to recover a gain of 1.
Marcus Ross on the tackle. He's a guy that plays at a will backer, and he's all over the place. I mean, he's kind of the guy in the middle that gets everything set up and taken care of, and does a good job. Seen him a couple times running to the football, making big plays. It's been tough to get the run game going if it's not Watson against this Lions defense.
Humple, the feature back, up the gut. Jonathan Humple has a touchdown.
Handoff goes to number 7, Jonathan Humble.
The Frosh from Council Bluffs. 8th touchdown scamper of the year, and Iowa Western has a 3-score lead in the first half.
Great job up front by this offensive line, moving people. And Coach Strode talked about you didn't know if it was going to be a zone scheme or a zone scheme or a gap scheme. And you saw a little split zone right there. Get everybody moving, let Humple find the crease and run into the end zone.
Prior to the snap, there is a building flag on the try.
Talk about getting your running backs involved. Bryant Williams has 2 touchdown catches. Jonathan Humple with the 4-yard touchdown run.
Offside. East Mississippi, number 98. Goodness half the distance. Still the try.
How do you think about going for 2 to make this a 21-point game?
Not yet. No, I think with it being ahead like this, I think you feel pretty good about where your defense is and what's going on. And, you get the point and then go kick off.
Max Bartacek, who was injured earlier, is back in. Freshman from Waukee, Iowa. And this one's perfect. So the Reavers have scored 20 unanswered points. They've got a 3-score lead with 3:57 left to play in the first half.
Yeah, really nice drive right there. Humple caps it off with a 4-yard run, but 7 plays, they move down the field. You see just a little split zone. The O-line does a good job of kind of washing everything to Humple's right there, and good vision. Good vision. You see him, he feels the cut, gets upfield, doesn't have to go too far. A couple big runs there by Hunter Watson, a really nice throw to LJ Fitzpatrick, and been really impressed with this Reavers offense. You know, look at that right there. Last year, 31-0 over Hutch.
That was the first shutout
Yeah.
in an NJCAA championship since 1992.
Yeah, and absolutely mauled people, only giving up 7 points.
And the defense
so
hasn't
far.
allowed anything.
Yeah, I know, right? It's called a left-handed shutout. That's when you give up a special teams touchdown defensively. If you're the defensive coordinator, you put a little asterisk by that one, and you go talk to the special teams guy. It goes on your ledger as a defensive coordinator, but definitely the potential for a left-handed shutout right here.
Well, this kind of feels like a must-score possession for East Mississippi. Iowa Western will receive the first second-half kickoff. Jalen York, 91-yard touchdown return earlier, does not have the same success on this kick return as he's upended shy of the 20. All right, so an offense that has had a lot of trouble running the football, moving the football against Iowa Western. Got to figure something out in the final 3 minutes, 49 seconds of this first half. Well, stay with us at the half. The plays of the year so far in the NJCAA. We'll look at the NJCAA's impact on the upcoming bowl season, and we'll get Brandon Noble's first half analysis. All that and more coming up at the break, so stay with us. East Mississippi starts 81 yards shy of the end zone, and they will move backwards. Jalen Jennings gang tackled, a loss of 2. Josh Pierre-Louis, the intriguing redshirt sophomore cornerback who spent the last couple years at NC State, got in there along with some teammates.
I love watching corners play in the run front. It's not something they usually do a lot of, or they're asked to do a lot of, but when they can come up and tackle, it's huge, especially with a guy like Pierre-Louis, 7 interceptions too.
Quick toss, Cam Wright. East Mississippi would like to get him more involved. 5 catches, 3 of them for touchdowns against Hutchinson. And it sets up East Mississippi with 3rd and a long 5.
Third down has not been pretty tonight for East Mississippi. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Keys take off on this one.
Instead, he'll throw, and he zips it over the middle. It's shy of the line to gain. Jacoby Moore hauls it in. And you at least have to think about keeping the offense out there.
Yep, you have to. You see it right here. Maybe you get a little hard count to see if you can get him to jump off sides, especially with this D-line that likes to get off the ball.
It's Jennings, right side. He stumbled, and he does not get there. Malik Reed, the Arizona bounce back. And the dark side defense continues its national title game dominance.
Jalen Jennings definitely frustrated right there. Malik Reed, number 45, linebacker, does a good job pushing things backwards.
He just stumbled over his own 2 feet.
Yeah, well, you saw Malik Reed made him kind of belly a little bit faster than he wanted to. He got his feet out on him. He knows he slipped. If he gets around that corner, he probably gets the first down. But a great job by Reed kind of pushing things backwards and forcing the issue.
Buddy Stevens' bunch is in a world of trouble. Down 20 points, and Iowa Western starts this possession just 28 yards from the goal line.
That's a tough way to kind of end the half right here for East Mississippi, right? You go for it on 4th and 1. You're betting on your team. Why not? But it puts you in a bad spot.
Sean Gary Jr. trying to cut it upfield and gets hit and dropped 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Eshaun Shepard making another play for this East Mississippi defense.
He's been really impressive. You know, we talked about Sean Washington, the big fella in the middle, 6'5", 315, going to LSU. And when you got a big mountain of a man in there like that, guys like Shepard, a little bit on the quicker side, 6'3", 275, really active and athletic defensive tackle, really long arms, gets in the backfield quick.
See if the Lions can put Iowa Western in a 4th down situation. Watson lofts it and threw it behind Jonathan Humple. No question, the Reavers have been trying to get their running backs involved in the passing game, and that time Iowa Western was able to string it out.
Yeah, good job getting eyes on him. And right there, East Mississippi sent some pressure. So, you know, again, you force the ball to come out a little bit faster. The pressure becomes the coverage.
Well, some uncertainties with the kicking game, and Iowa Western lined up to take a 4th down and 10 snap. Low snap for Watson, being chased, chucks it, and it's incomplete. Alvin Williams got the pressure on the quarterback. Watson slow to get up.
Ooh, yeah, holding that arm too.
Well, the Lions defense responds after the offense gets stymied inside the 30.
Yeah, fell on the wrist. You see Alvin Williams top of the screen, quick inside move right there, beats the tackle so fast, and then brings the quarterback down. And you see Watson fall on his hands, kind of his wrist to brace himself here. You see him go down and gets caught underneath Williams on top of him. He looks like he's on the sideline okay right now, but definitely.
That is his non-throwing hand, by the way. So Ty Keys in the offense, and that's dropped. Would have been a 1st down for Marcus Harris.
I like that, though. I like getting him out of the pocket a little bit. I think that's important. You know, right now the drop back game hasn't really been working. The pressure's been on top of him right now. They've collapsed the pocket. I think if you move him, get him out of the pocket, get him out on the edge, and give him the option to throw the ball or run the ball, and put this dark side defense in a little bit of a bind.
Cade Wilkerson, first year as the full-time offensive coordinator, was the interim play caller last season. Keys lets it fly, and it's dropped again.
Ooh, that was almost picked.
Raymond Blackman had some space out near the 50 and couldn't haul it in.
I think Matt Cordes in coverage, he jumped up. You're going to see right here.
Tough to tell if he got a piece of it.
Yeah, didn't look like he did, but if he misses that ball and it's caught, that's a touchdown.
East Mississippi, after back-to-back incompletions, quickly facing 3rd down 10. This is where Iowa Western's defense has feasted in this first half. Reavers bring 4. Keys lofting that way again. This time it's hauled in. Cam Wright steps away, and he's dropped at the 36.
Oh, they needed that right there.
The first explosive catch for the leading receiver, Cam Wright.
What a throw by Keys, too. That's from the far hash to the far sideline. Great adjustment. Right there, you see Cam Wright come back for that football.
36-yard completion. Keys with some miscommunication. Cam Wright crossing blades with Josh Pierre-Louis again. Looked like the same exact play call.
Yep, flag on the play. Yeah, why not go back to him, right?
51 catches coming in. Over 800 yards, 11 touchdowns. Just visited Liberty over the weekend. Spent last year in the FCS at UT Martin.
Conference over there. It looked like he ran him out of bounds.
There's no flag for pass interference. 3rd down. 2nd.
They talked about it for a while.
Yeah, they did. There's Mike Blackburn, the dark side defense coordinator right there. And one of the players came up with that kind of idea and identity, and he ran with it. He does a great job. This defense is always one of the best.
Feels like the defensive line is the strength of this defense, and that has stuck up through 1 half tonight. East Mississippi trying to get closer before the break. From the 37, Keys tucks it, and Ty Keys will coast out inside the 30. So he gets 8 yards on the run, and it sets up East Mississippi with 3rd and 2, 32 seconds left in the half.
Got out of bounds, good idea, and he made the decision quick to run, which I like. You know the clock's going, winding down, you don't have a lot of time. Make the decision fast, and whatever you do, get out of bounds at the end of it.
Chance to grab a little momentum An offense that hasn't scored tonight. Keys lofts it up the sideline. More contact, no flag. Pierre Lewis covering Cam Wright once more, and it's 4th down.
This is a great matchup out here. Pierre Lewis, Cam Wright battling out there on the edge, right? Right at the top right, you see the hand fighting right there. Very, very physical play out on the edge. There's no doubt about that. Gets his eyes back around. You got to be careful with that stuff at the end, right? Going and standing over him like that. All right, 4th and 2 now. 42% tonight, 0 for 1. That's the one that matters right there.
Might as well call a timeout here.
East Mississippi, it's their 2nd timeout of the half.
This is a play that could put East Mississippi back in the game, or kind of ensure that Iowa Western's comfortable at the start of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, no, this is really, really big. A little different than the one they went for down on the other end of the field, where I understood it, and that they were, you know, they're desperate right now, right? They need something to happen. They've had a couple. They had a really nice play, right, by Cam Wright. Ty Keys gets them into this situation on that scramble, and now you've got to convert here. You definitely need the first. You need the points. You need to feel good going into halftime.
You see what Cade Wilkerson has dialed up. Buddy Stevens, with a lot of praise for his first-year offensive coordinator, said if he wasn't a football coach, he'd be a soccer coach. Says he's that meticulous, and the offense hasn't missed a beat since he took over last year.
You saw Buddy Stevens talking to their officials about the physical play of the corner. Pierre Lewis out on the edge. Look at that. I mean, tonight, only 132 total yards on offense.
Keys, check down, and it's held on to. 1st down, East Mississippi, with 23 ticks left on the 2nd quarter clock, and it's Raymond Blackman for the freshman's 2nd catch. New set of downs, and he throws that one to the wide side of the field. Cam Wright steps out of the tackle and stops the clock with 12 ticks left.
Yeah, and you want to see him get out of bounds. I know he's trying to make a play, right? It looks like Pierre Lewis is down on the far side right there. But watch this again. This is a great matchup right here. See the break on the ball. Pierre Lewis
at the 13-yard line.
I don't know what happens there, right? Gets a little twisted up, maybe a cramp.
Two guys that will certainly be playing FBS football this time next year. Pierre Lewis, the bounce back from NC State. Cam Wright, 9 FBS offers. He's made visits over the last couple months to Liberty and East Carolina. You talk about improving your stock by coming to this level. Cam Wright didn't see much time at UT Martin last year. Plays a season in junior college at East Mississippi. Now he's got offers from higher conferences and better programs. And that's not uncommon at this level.
Yeah, no, that's what this is about, right? Like you said, it's about betting on yourself. And you see Pierre Lewis right here on the tackle, right? See how he twists around? And maybe, again, your cleats get stuck in the turf in funny ways sometimes. I hope he's all right. That left foot up off the ground, not able to put any weight on it. Such a good football player and such a huge part of this defense. Again, 7 takeaways on his own, interceptions. We've watched him tackle tonight. We've watched him play physical out there and contest every pass that's going to Cam Wright. Again, it's a great battle, great matchup.
Defensive Player of the Year in the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference. The 7 interceptions, tied for the most in the NJCAA this season. They'll have to try and stop East Mississippi without him. 12 seconds left in the half. Pressure. Keys is spun down. It's Jalen Pettis.
Pettis, huge. That is so big right there.
Timeout. East Mississippi. It's their 3rd and final timeout of the first half.
That probably leaves East Mississippi with just one more play in the half.
Amazing play, right? You're going to see him come off the bottom of your screen here. Right, watch that ball get off right there. Just a rip. That was all get off. He timed that snap up. He's on Keys before you know it. Gets the big sack. That's amazing. That's why South Florida's going to be really happy with him.
Yeah, they're getting a good one, aren't they?
Man, I mean, a blocked punt, sacks. What a play. What a play, a huge play right there by Pettis.
9th sack of the season for Jalen Pettis, and he had that blocked punt earlier as well.
2 sacks and a blocked punt. That's a heck of a stat line for a defensive end right there.
It was a big part of that dark side defense that shut out Hutchinson in last season's national title game, and he got that much better over the offseason.
Yep, and you know, it's the more time, right? The more reps, the bigger you get, the stronger you get, and the opportunity to perfect your craft and continue to work on it. He is absolutely having a night right now. But again, this D-line comes in waves, right? Like there's 8 of them, 10 of them that are constantly getting rotated in, so they're fresh. So in situations like this at the end of the half, you got a guy like Pettis who can go fast and get off the ball.
This is probably it, right? 1 play, 6 seconds.
Yeah, field goal. Give it a whirl.
Cole Arthur, 8 of 10 with a long of 39. This is a 44-yard attempt, and no good. That's how the opening half comes to an end. Cole Arthur wide left, and Iowa Western seeking back-to-back national titles. The Reavers have a 20-point halftime edge.
Stick around for second half action.
Huge stop right there. Again, that play by Pettis, that sack was amazing. I mean, it was so well timed. The ball get off was amazing. You know, again, the wherewithal and the ability to do it. You've rushed the passer for how many snaps now? You've played that whole half of football.
All right, Scott Strohmeyer joins us from the turf. Coach, impressions of that first half?
Well, I thought we were playing really good. You know, defensively, we were making them a little bit one-dimensional, and when we stop their run, you know, making them one-dimensional, it allows our defensive line to get some pressure. You know, it's 30 minutes. We got 30 more to go.
Yep, and Coach, real quick, talk a little bit about Hunter Watson and his play so far. Been pretty good.
He's been locked in all week, and he's focused. He's competitive, and he's making some throws, some big-time throws and some runs, and we need him. We need him for 30 more.
Absolutely. Coach, appreciate your time. Good luck in the second half.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Scott Strohmeyer, he's got 2 national titles under his belt, seeking a 3rd. This would be back-to-back for Iowa Western, and the Reavers have a 20-point halftime lead. 27-7 our halftime score in the 2023 NJCAA Division I Football Championship. You're watching the NJCAA Division I Football Championship on ESPNU. Brian Luckett emceed the events last night, the tournament banquet here at the Convention Center in Little Rock. Brian does a terrific job, Senior Vice President of External Affairs and Development. Good barbecue food there last night as well. Getting ready for the start of the second half, we're joined by East Mississippi head coach Buddy Stevens. So what were some of the conversations in the locker room at the break?
Just trying to keep them from getting on the bus and leaving, go home early. You know, we didn't do a great job offensively, defensively, or special teams. Now we got to crawl ourselves out of a hole. We're not going to stop playing. The kids will still play hard. We just got a long mountain to get over now. It's just a lot different.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you, guys.
Well, the OG Last Chance U. I think a lot of America got to know Buddy Stevens and the terrific job he's done with his East Mississippi program. How do you at least put Iowa Western on its heels in this second half if you're the Lions?
Well, look, that defense runs really well, and they pursue really fast. So I do think one of the things you have to think about is, you know, the reverse. The trick play is not necessarily the right word, but, you know, again, just something that will get them going one way and get the ball back the other way. They're so fundamentally sound, and the inability to run the football right now is really hurting East Mississippi. The other thing that they kind of got away from, because they had a couple series where it didn't work out really well, is just kind of that pick the ball up and throw it out to the edge. Get 3 receivers out there, run a little bubble screen, run a little tunnel screen, something along those lines to get your athletes in space with the ball.
Lots of work to do for East Mississippi to pull even atop the NJCAA Championship leaderboard. Established back in 1938. This is the 3rd year of the 4-team playoff format, and the first year that East Mississippi has been a part of the NJCAA 2014 playoff. New Mexico Military was the champion 2 years ago. Iowa Western all over Hutchinson, shut out the Blue Dragons last year. Up 3 scores as we get the second half underway. Short kick for L.J. Fitzpatrick. And a short return, 6 yards to the 25 with a flag down.
At the 25-yard line.
Offside is Mississippi number 21. 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. It's first down. Iowa Western.
So that will move the football north to the 30-yard line. Hunter Watson, a spectacular first half showing for the former Division II quarterback at Arkansas, Monticello. Ran in a touchdown, added 2 more through the air.
Yeah, solid. 9 for 14, 92 yards, 2 TDs. Those rushing yards were big.
He'll add to his rushing yard total on the first play from scrimmage in the 3rd quarter. Gets 3 yards against the inside of the East Mississippi defense.
That QB run is tough. You know, all of a sudden there's an extra gap to defend, especially when they do it out of empty. You get a couple pullers there, they're moving gaps on you. And you saw at the end of the 2nd quarter there, they did a good job running him.
There's Jonathan Humple trying to stretch it to the outside, and he doesn't have much. Marcus Ross, sophomore linebacker, wraps him up. It's 3rd down.
Ross and Shepard again. You know, he really active today. I mean, this kid's been all over the place. We talked about him in the first half. Now here he is in the first series, the second half. Really, really active from his 3 technique spot. He's an interior defensive lineman making plays out on the edge.
3rd down, about 6 yards to go for Iowa Western. A chance for East Mississippi to force a 3-and-out on the 3rd quarter's first possession. Iowa Western 3 of 6 on 3rd down tonight. Lions bring 4. Watson up top, incomplete. Jordan Johnson had a step. The former Notre Dame and UCF wideout couldn't haul it in. And that's a good start to the second half for East Mississippi.
Yeah, it is. Great 3-and-out right there by the Lions defense, and a big stop. And you saw Shannon Blair there. We talked about making some tackles, but here, look at this pressure in the middle. See Washington get a little pressure right there. It doesn't take much. You don't have to hit the quarterback. You don't have to sack him every time. Just affect him in the pocket. Make him not comfortable.
Johnson has not recorded a catch tonight. Had 3 receptions and a touchdown against Kilgore in the semis. Jalen York drifting over, will not touch it. How about that? Sped up as it hit the turf. Now spotted out at the 21.
Be interesting to see what kind of adjustments East Mississippi made offensively halftime. You know, that was a huge punt, flips the field, 45 yards, and now all of a sudden you've got a long way to go because of a nice bounce. But what are you going to do offensively to get your guys going?
Numbers for Ty Keys through 1 half. Spent the last 2 seasons at Southern Miss. 12 Division I offers at the moment. Georgia State, the most recent offer earlier this month. The NJCAA leader with 32 passing touchdowns, held without a score in that first half. Marcus Harris bounces out of 1 tackle and doesn't gain much. Escorted out at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't get anything.
No, and look, the Reavers defense has done a great job against you. Look at this drive down by that safety right there. Holy smokes. Coming down and handling that.
Matt Cordes, redshirt frosh from Tinley Park in Illinois. First down and then some. There haven't been many explosive plays for Iowa Western tonight. Cam Wright goes for 19.
If there have been, it's because of Cam Wright. You see him holding his shoulder there. Hopefully he can get up. But he's really been the whole offense at the end of the day for the Lions tonight.
It was the hero in the semis, got the game-winning touchdown with 52 seconds left at Hutchinson. Cordes wrapped him up initially, and then Ahmad Johnson came in and lowered the shoulder.
Yeah, and Cordes lands on top of him. You're gonna see right here, you see how his shoulder's under him? And that's painful right there.
Josh Pierre-Louis, who was covering Cam Wright the bulk of that first half, is not out there to start this second half. Keys off target on a 1st and 10 pass attempt. Ty Crowell targeted for the first time tonight. This is an East Mississippi program that has no tight ends on the roster. Buddy Stevens says, we don't recruit tight ends and fullbacks. We'll ask an offensive or defensive lineman if they can catch if we need one.
And those guys probably love that.
Inside handoff, and not much doing for Jalen Jennings.
Yeah, it's tough to run the ball up the middle. And look, 2nd and 10, right? You try and sneak a little draw in there with Jennings. But a lot of the pass rush games that this Iowa Western defense runs up front kind of mess draws up. You saw that right there. Again, now you're 3rd and 8.
EMCC 2 of 9 on 3rd down. Tight pocket for Keys, and it's incomplete. Jacoby Moore in the vicinity. Couldn't curl back to get it. And Iowa Western's defense can add another stop to their total tonight.
Yeah, they've just been kind of overwhelming. You know, they're relentless. They come in waves as far as the D-line comes, right? Oh, there's, yep, Pierre-Louis right there on sticks, left ankle wrapped up. That's a shame.
Fair catch signaled for LJ Fitzpatrick around the 25-yard line. Couple defensive stops to open the 3rd quarter. Iowa Western 27-7. Oh, the NCAA women's volleyball semifinals tomorrow night on ESPN and the app, with the number 3 1 seed and the number 2 Pittsburgh squares off against Nebraska at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Then 2nd seed Texas, the defending champs, take on Wisconsin. The winners play for the national title Sunday at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC. Forget holiday season, it's championship season.
That it is.
Here in the NJCAA title game, 20-point lead for Iowa Western. 31-0. They knocked off Hutchinson last season. Another impressive showing for this program from Council Bluffs. Hunter Watson and the offense start at the 25, and Watson takes it out to the 30. 5-yard run for the redshirt sophomore from Salina, Texas. Hunter Watson, he was a 3-sport star in high school, also played baseball and basketball.
Multi-sport athletes, man, that's what you're looking for.
Jonathan Humpel getting tackled a couple yards shy of the 1st down.
Alvin Williams in there again.
6'4" defensive end from Atlanta has been a big-time playmaker for this East Mississippi defense tonight.
Kari McCall helping out on the tackle. Again, this is the point where defensively, right, you just kind of, it's hard when you're in this situation and you're losing like this, and it's the 2nd half, and you know the run's coming at you.
3rd down short. Watson off play action, on target. He hits LJ Fitzpatrick. They needed 1, and they get 11 on the 3rd and short toss.
I like that call right there. That's pretty aggressive by the Reavers. And again, you've run the ball pretty well, whether it's with the quarterback, right, or Humpel or Williams, right, but get a little play action and now a little tempo. But great job getting that ball out, getting the 1st down.
LJ Fitzpatrick, 3 FCS offers for the sophomore from the Sunshine State. Stretch run for Humpel. No, Jonathan Humpel had offers from Kansas and Iowa State coming out of high school. Felt like he could do better, and what a year he's had with this Iowa Western offense, averaging more than 5 yards per carry. Had 132 yards on the ground, including a 95-yard touchdown run in the semis against Kilgore.
That's so far.
95.
Man.
Where do you think you'd get tired?
Oh, 5.
Watson is sacked. They brought the blitz from the secondary, and Brylan Lanier racks up his 3rd sack of the season.
And East Mississippi's starting to send extra guys. You're starting to see it on the last play. You saw Marcus Ross come from the backside and make a play, and then right there you see Lanier come off the edge from his kind of slot receiver or his nickel slot spot, and big sack.
The former Indiana Hoosier had 3 tackles for loss against Hutchinson. That's his 3rd sack of the season, 1st TFL tonight. 3rd down 11 for Iowa Western. More pressure on Watson. He completes it. Right at the line to gain. It is a 1st down. And it's Jordan Johnson's 1st catch tonight.
Looks like we got another lying down. Might be Shepard, 98.
It is.
Yeah.
Mississippi State commit.
Looked like he had a nice rush, collapsed the pocket. I think if it was him, quick swim on the center, got into Watson's face or down around his feet. Hopefully he gets up and he's all right. He's played really well tonight, been really active. 6'3", 275. He's kind of that twitchy guy that can run all over the place and be disruptive at the line of scrimmage. I've been impressed with him tonight.
Nashon Shepard recently received an offer from Tennessee, other Power 5s trying to see if he'll stay solid on his commitment to Mississippi State with the coaching change in Starkville. New set of downs for Iowa Western at the EMCC 45. A designed run, Hunter Watson steps out of a tackle. Watson is loose, and he leaves the defense in the dust. 45-yard touchdown run. Hunter Watson, 2nd tonight.
What a run. You can see why they wanted to play wide receiver. I mean, with the ball in his hands, running down the field, he's elusive, he's strong. Great play call, too, a little empty. We got a lined out East Mississippi player on the ground.
Tyrone Stewart, the corner who tried to get him.
Yep. QB power right there, counter. Look at that. He's almost lost his pants on national TV.
I mean, he's a great quarterback, but you can kind of see why Arkansas Monticello thought that he'd work out as a receiver.
100%. Get the ball in his hands. And look, as a quarterback, he's got the ball in his hands every play. And that's 10 rushes, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of them was a QB sneak, but that was a really nice run right there.
Making a bid for NJCAA National Title Game MVP honors. Hunter Watson has had a hand in 4 of the 5 Reaver touchdowns tonight. 34-7. Hunter Watson, 45-yard scoring scamper. And the defending champs are rolling on Championship Wednesday. Eight minutes, 16 seconds on the 3rd quarter clock. Iowa Western has stretched the lead. The Reavers quarterback Hunter Watson with a 45-yard scamper, the first points of this 2nd half, and it's been more of the same from Iowa Western. East Mississippi briefly took a 1-point lead after Jalen York's 91-yard kick return for a touchdown. 28 unanswered from the Reavers since. Short kick. This is Jalen York. Bouncing outside and could not stay upright. Would have been interesting if he was able to stay on his feet. East Mississippi, they will try again against this dark side defense.
These guys are everywhere. You talked about Pettis a lot. There he's getting the sack. Hale coming out from his D tackle spot. I mean, look, it's just overwhelming. That was a huge stop on 4th down, again, penetration. This was the big one at the end of the half with Pettis with the sack to knock him out of field goal range, get his second one of the night.
Check this out. No points, 155 yards. They didn't allow any points. Pitched a shutout against Hutchinson in the national title game last season. Kyron Benjamin, and we haven't seen East Mississippi use the running game much, in large part to the deficit they've been trying to chase.
Yeah, when you get yourself in a hole like this, it's hard to stay with the run.
Another inside handoff. Benjamin spins and gets one.
But you know, sometimes it's not going to get you back in the game. It's not going to get you the quick score, but sometimes it can just settle things down a little bit. And I think that's what this East Mississippi team needs right now, is kind of a first down.
Keys rolls, hit as he throws, and Harris with a spectacular one-hand catch, but he's out of bounds and attending to that right knee area after the incompletion.
Keys took a shot there too. Harris, yeah, that was a heck of a catch. Just not in the field of play. It's just, I mean, this.
Yeah, welcome to the dark side.
This defense is ridiculous. 46 seconds off the clock right there, and you're putting your offense back out. And they ran the ball.
You can see why Kilgore didn't stand much of a chance with its backup quarterback in the semis. Off the side of Trace Beard's right cleat, and it should give Iowa Western a short field. They'll mark it out at the 46. So here comes this Reaver offense again, and while they haven't been quite as good as the defense, they've had a pretty terrific night.
Yeah, because of this guy right here, Hunter Watson. He's throwing the football. You see it right there. He gives it to Williams. Little QB sneak gets wedged in there. But it's these runs here as the game has gone on that you've seen that have really hurt this Lions defense. And you see this one right here. He almost loses his pants. Still goes 45 for a touchdown. Pretty incredible effort by the young man. Again, doing it with the ball in his hand. You know, running and then throwing the ball really well tonight.
You know, that used to be a trend. Pants sagging. I don't know if they do it anymore. L.J. Fitzpatrick out to the edge and shoved out. First down run for L.J. Fitzpatrick. It's a dozen.
And look, one thing, you know, if you're playing defense right now for East Mississippi, you got to know that people are watching, right? You're putting tape, you're putting plays on tape, right? That's your signature. You don't want to be the guy that shuts down. You don't want to be the guy that quits. You got to have a little bit of pride. And this program has pride. There's no doubt about that.
Well, you heard Buddy Stevens chat with us before the start of the half. He said, look, we can't get on the bus early. We have to stay in the fight. And Iowa Western has made it difficult for East Mississippi to have hope in this second half. Scored on its second possession, now driving again.
They've gone back to that little QB counter off the jet sweep a couple times. East Mississippi's defense did a good job clogging things up in there and not letting Watson get out.
Watson now past 100 yards on the ground tonight. Here comes the pressure. Watson hit as he throws up the sideline. Contested catch made by Fitzpatrick.
Wow. What an adjustment on the football. Watson does a good job. Watson knows he's going to get hit. They bring a safety blitz right up the gut. Watson sits in the pocket and throws one up. Probably didn't see it, right? You see him right here. Knows he's going to get hit. That was Alvin Williams, excuse me, at the end. Right, and what an adjustment right there by Fitzpatrick. Coming back and getting that football.
Another red zone trip for Iowa Western, and Watson will take it down to the 10.
The kid's playing lights out. He's having fun. He's smiling a little bit. Probably sore tomorrow, as he should be.
James Graham, who was the starting quarterback for last season's national title team, is now an assistant coach on this Iowa Western staff, and Scott Strohmeyer told us how much confidence he's been able to instill in the Hunter Watson, who lofts one towards the end zone and overshoots Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, I think the QB run game is the thing. You know, he's thrown the ball really well. They haven't really established Humple as a runner tonight, right? Or Williams, right? They've thrown the ball more to Williams, but it's that QB run game. And Strohmeyer, Coach Strohmeyer mentioned, you know, he didn't know how they were going to run the ball. They had to figure that out over the course of the game, and it definitely turned into that QB run, the QB counter that's been really effective tonight.
Third down 7. LJ Fitzpatrick to the edge, diving to the pylon. Touchdown, Iowa Western. Another title game tutty for LJ Fitzpatrick as he tight-roped the sideline for 6.
Little play action. You got Fitz out there. That's a great effort right there by Fitzpatrick. Those are easy touchdowns right there for a quarterback, right? That's not a lot of work. Just get it to your playmaker. He tight ropes down the line. Hits the pylon.
Every scoring play is reviewed, and it looked like that right cleat
was
got
close.
Awfully close. Very around the close. 3. The officials are looking at it in the replay booth.
If it sticks, right, 6 plays, 54 yards, and 2:16, that was a pretty quick one right there.
This Reaver offense hasn't had to trek too many yards on the bulk of the scoring drives tonight because of the defense.
Yep, yeah, the defense, when you have defense like that, puts you in great position.
Third touchdown toss for Watson. And the route is on in Little Rock. Iowa Western, its sights set on a back-to-back national title run. Hunter Watson enjoying his return to Arkansas. It's LJ Fitzpatrick, and it's all Reavers tonight. Bowl season kicks off Saturday. 7 games on ESPN, ABC, and E+. This is the ABC triple header starting at noon Eastern. Howard and Florida A&M in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Then Miami of Ohio takes on Appalachian State. And the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl finish up with UCLA and Boise State in the Starco Brands LA Bowl at SoFi Stadium. Well, how do you alleviate a 600-mile bus ride? Doing what Iowa Western has done again in the national title game, and that's just absolutely dominate as Jalen York takes it back to the 31 on the kick return. They knocked off an undefeated, top-ranked Hutchinson team 31-0 in the championship, the first championship game shutout since 1992, and if not for a Jalen York 91-yard kick return back in the opening quarter of this game, they'd be flirting with back-to-back shutouts in national title games.
Yeah, pretty impressive. I mean, Scott Strohmeyer's done an amazing job. You mentioned it earlier, Chris, like he started the program. He's been there forever. He loves what he's doing. You know, doesn't want to go anywhere, really enjoys this, and he's got something special going.
A quiet night for Ty Keys as he stumbles across the 40. 10-yard run for the quarterback. We'll see Keys at the next level. 12 Division I offers, mix of FBS and FCS. There's Scott Strohmeyer. They know him as Stro around the outskirts of Council Bluffs. 10+ wins, 9 of the last 12 seasons, and 48 All-Americans the last 6 years. And they've done a good job to kind of strengthen their regular season schedule. They've been playing Hutchinson annually to wrap up the regular season to kind of get them ready for the playoffs. And look, twice to end the regular season, each of the last 2 years, they've lost that game to Hutchinson, and then in the 3 weeks between the end of the regular season and the playoff, they have turned on a switch that nobody's been able to figure out.
Yep, no, they have. And you know, he likes the guys to be battle tested, like to, again, knows he's got a great defense, doesn't do too much offensively to create issues for that defense. That's a recipe for winning national championships.
Second catch of the night for Ty Crowell. Scott Strohmeyer, we asked him last year, I mean, you've done so much here. Do you see yourself maybe moving on to the next level? He said, I've got everything I need here at Iowa Western. I think this guy's a Reaver lifer from the sound of it. New set of downs. Jalen Jennings with a 5-yard run. Now, Iowa Western, their offensive coordinator, Tony Colling, left in the offseason to take the offensive coordinator job at Hutchinson. Tristan Spear, who's in his first season calling plays for Iowa Western, had briefly taken the OC job at Arkansas Monticello. That's kind of how they got Hunter Watson
which is interesting,
to Council Bluffs. But I mean, it doesn't really seem to matter what happens underneath Scott Strohmeyer. He and Mike Blackburn have been the two constants for this program over 15 seasons, but through a bunch of different assistant coaches and play callers, this Reaver program, as you mentioned, has remained a blue blood.
Yep, consistency in coaching, right? You've got a system, you got a standard.
Raymond Blackman, first down catch. Blackman motors down the sideline. There's a touchdown for the East Mississippi offense. A 42-yard catch and run. The joystick finds pay dirt.
It's a great individual effort by Blackman there. And East Mississippi offense needed that. Ty Keys needed that. Blackman needed that. Buddy Stevens, everybody needed that right there. Great, again, run through a tackle. Yeah, just missed tackles. That's one thing you don't see the Reavers defense do very often, is miss tackles. And you saw 4 of them right there, and a lot of it was because Raymond Blackman is quite elusive out in open space.
It took quite a while, but the East Mississippi offense puts together a scoring drive, and got to let out a little frustration for what's transpired the previous 2+ quarters.
6 plays, 68 yards, under 2 minutes with the big strike. 42-yard reception by Blackman right there. You watch him here, bring him across in motion. You see him in motion, right, and then he comes back across. That's tough right there to handle defensively. And then look, it's just missed tackles, right? And it's a great individual effort, right? He cuts back right there, spins the safety who's trying to come tackle him. That's just a great, oh, look at Blackburn. He knows it. He's a guy, he's got him. He's got it. Missed tackles. And not happy. And I get it. You've played so well, right? You don't want your guys to lose focus, right? You really don't want to do that. And it's all about tackling. And that's what defensive focus is about, being where you're supposed to be, having great eyes, and then tackling. If you do those things, you're fine. Oh.
LJ Fitzpatrick pounces on it. East Mississippi, if that took a different hop, may have had a chance to recover. If you're wondering why they didn't try an onside kick, that might have been a little more beneficial. Cole Arthur kind of got the long hair just like you. The locks.
He doesn't have quite as much gray as I do.
All right, so 3:01 left in this third quarter. East Mississippi strikes, but it's still a comfortable advantage for Iowa Western. Sometimes when you're in this lopsided of a game and you're on the right side of it, you have to find the game within the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Bryant Williams, left side surge, and he's tossed out after a 2-yard run. Alvin Williams gets to the edge along with Bakari McCall.
Yeah, one of your jobs as a coach right now is to find a way to keep guys dialed in and focused. And you saw that on that touchdown right there that, Blackman scores on, is, it's focus, right? You've got to stay focused, finish the game now, finish the whole thing.
Keevy Thompson hoping his defense can show some signs of life. Hunter Watson, what a great runner he's been tonight. 45-yard touchdown scamper on the last possession. Couldn't escape Ashun Shepard there, and it's good to see Shepard back on the field. He was injured earlier.
And you got Watson here either cramping, something happened. But yeah, really nice play by Shepard. Again, he has been everywhere. You see Watson go down there.
Chad Kearns is the backup quarterback, and he'll probably have to come in for the next snap.
At least a snap. You hope Watson's all right.
Mentioned how much he's run tonight, over 100 yards. Haven't used him a ton in the running game in previous weeks, but at times he's been their best runner tonight.
Yep, you see right there, he kind of went airborne, both feet off the turf, and then when they came back down, he was getting tackled by Shepard. He looks to be walking okay. Hopefully he's all right.
Jonathan Humple did take a direct snap back in the first half, but it will be Chad Kearns, who's from the same hometown as Brandon Noble, San Ramon, California. Up in the Bay Area.
Here he comes.
Took some snaps late in the semifinal win over Kilgore. Bryant Williams, first down surge. And he gets tossed violently to the turf at the 44-yard line. I think everybody in the stadium knew that Kearns was not going to attempt to pass there, and they still couldn't stop Bryant Williams.
Yeah, nice run by Williams right there. He gets vertical quickly. Yep. There's Watson. He's back in. He's going to finish this thing.
Chad Kearns, championship moment. Perhaps the quarterback of the future at Iowa Western. Williams leans forward just shy of the midfield stripe.
Don't be surprised if you do see a little bit more of Williams and Humple now running the football, right? You don't want Watson to aggravate whatever happened there. And it's time to hand the football off and throw quick passes. Get first downs, chew the clock up, and get out of here with your ring.
Iowa Western, the champs in 2012, 2022, in prime position here in 23. Watson zips it. Catch made. Latrell Bonner down to the 29-yard line of East Mississippi. Transfer from Coffeyville Community College. Three-star prospect with 4 football championship subdivision honors.
Little play action right there. Gets the safeties to get their eyes down in the box, and you see Bonner running across the field. Really nice catch. First down.
22-yard completion. And that will be the third quarter's final play. Iowa Western in the driver's seat as the Reavers voyage to the final 15 minutes in the NJCAA Division I Football Championship. What a night for Hunter Watson. It's 41-14 after 3. Start of the fourth quarter, 41-14, Iowa Western on top as we flash back to the 2022 NJCAA title game. It was Iowa Western and top seed Hutchinson. The Reavers scored on their first 3 possessions. LJ Fitzpatrick, 68-yard tunnel screen to the house, and they never looked back. James Graham was the quarterback. And much like Hunter Watson tonight, he's past the century mark in throwing and running.
Yep, very similar. And very similar, with the QB run game. And then at the end of the day, that dark side defense held the nation's top offense, right? No points and just 12 yards rushing. Impressive.
Another impressive showing tonight. Iowa Western starts at the East Mississippi 29-yard line. Watson pumps. Now he throws, and it's incomplete, looking for LJ Fitzpatrick.
Oh. Slipped on the ramp.
Bakari McCall had the coverage for the Lion defense. Now, if you're wondering what a reaver is, it is a river pirate. Now a just have to figure out what a lion is.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
And this is a program known for its defense,
Yep.
by the way.
88 points in the 2 games, though, in the playoff series here in 23. Right, and they won 31-0 last year. So again, they're just really dominant, right? They get hot when they're supposed to, right? They're playing great football at the end of the year, which is how you win championships.
No, Iowa Western, it was last year they lost the final 2 games of the regular season.
Yep.
Snuck into the playoffs, beat Northwest Mississippi, and then absolutely smoked Hutchinson 31-0 in the championship. Here comes the pressure on Watson. He'll step away, throw on the run, and it's knocked away, incomplete.
Shot right there.
Late flag down. Navian Cargill, the former Fighting Illini tight end, was the intended target.
Shannon Blair coming up with a big hit again.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. East Mississippi number 6, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You know, it was a costly Sean Washington face mask penalty that helped Iowa Western on its first scoring possession. It would have been 4th down and a long way to go in a punting situation. As you see multiple hard hits on this incompletion.
That was bad right there. Tyrese Hopkins come up right here, and yeah, that's targeting, right? That's the definition of it.
The targeting was not called.
No, it wasn't. But
And,
that was,
yeah.
I mean, maybe because he was running forward. I don't know exactly what the rules are, but that was helmet to helmet right there.
Linebacker from Macon, Georgia. Came over to East Mississippi with Ty Keys from Southern Miss. Chad Kearns is back in the game at quarterback for Iowa Western. And you wonder if this is something that the replay booth is halting, but looks like the play clock has started again. Interesting. New set of downs in the red zone for Iowa Western. Kearns lofts it. It's caught. Bonner, touchdown. Chad Kearns' first touchdown toss of the season. The NorCal native from San Ramon on target.
You talk about a couple minutes ago, right, when Watson came out and he had his moment, he handed the ball off, and Watson's out again, and Kearns goes in, a little play action pass, throws a nice ball into the corner for Bonner, who gets all the feet down with the bright green shoes.
Latrell Bonner's 5th touchdown catch of the season. That's a good night to be a Reaver quarterback.
It looks like he kept the ball all the way through the catch, too.
(48-14). Doesn't matter who's back there tonight for the Reavers. Chad Kearns with his championship moment. Chad Kearns, the backup quarterback after Hunter Watson took a shot, delivers another Iowa Western touchdown to cap an 8-play, 72-yard scoring drive.
First TD of the season for Mr. Kearns. It's a nice place to do it right there.
Long way from home in San Ramon, California. 14:06 left to play. Feels academic at this point. Iowa Western's been in control since the early moments of the second quarter. Kick return across the 25 for Marcus Harris. Well, Kearns had his moment, but the spotlight has shined on Hunter Watson tonight. Latrell Bonner, 4 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. Jumped in the JUCO transfer portal, came over from Coffeyville.
Watson, he was masterful tonight. I mean, with everything. I was really impressed. You know, I kind of anticipated a little bit more traditional hand the ball off run game. I knew that Coach Strohmeyer wanted to run the football today to try and negate a little bit of that East Mississippi offense on the field. You know, their speed, their athleticism out in space, and play great defense and run the ball. And wasn't certain who it was going to be or how it was going to get done. But Hunter Watson did it tonight. 183 yards throwing, over 100 rushing, counting, being a part of 5 of the touchdowns.
First down carry for Kyron Benjamin. Well, you look at what Hunter Watson has on the table right now. I mentioned the FCS offer in his home state at Texas A&M Commerce. He's got some Division II NAIA offers as well. You got to think other FCS programs out there could use a guy like him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, it's the portal, the whole recruiting world is hard to wrap your head around right now. So, you know, he's putting himself in a position to get another opportunity to go play football. He'll find a home, and he'll go. If he plays like this, he'll have a heck of a career.
Cleve Lubin on the stop for Iowa Western. Scott Strohmeyer calls him the vocal leader of the defense. You know, they practice at 7 a.m. every day. Doesn't matter how early they practice. They say he always brings the energy, as that's incomplete. Jacoby Moore tried to reach out and catch it.
You know, Lubin had some pressure again there. Cleve's the guy that he's been active tonight. We haven't called his name a lot. You know, we talked about Pettis, who had 2 sacks and the blocked punt, which is huge, but Lubin's a guy that's been around and collapsed the pocket. And Keys had a shot right there at a wide open receiver who had gotten behind everybody by a long shot. Not able to make the connection, though, due to the pressure from Cleve.
Third down long, and Keys is blasted as he chucks it out of bounds.
Copeland, Kamari Copeland, number 44,
He's
another one of those
Army
guys. Yep, that's
back.
exactly right. Lubin and Copeland both bouncing back from Army. Coach Strohmeyer said he would take kids from Army anytime.
Well,
right?
yeah.
Discipline, hard work, like just leaders. He's like, it's a good place to go get some bounce backs.
Yeah, if you're at Army and you're jumping in the portal, you're going to hear from Scott Strohmeyer this offseason.
No doubt about it.
Lucci Fedoni drops it and then pounces back on top of it at the 25. 12:29 to play. Iowa Western has this thing on cruise control. Well, bowl season begins Saturday. 7 games on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Plus. This is the ESPN quadruple header. It starts at 11 a.m. Eastern. Georgia Southern takes on Ohio, followed by Jacksonville State and Louisiana. Then New Mexico State battles Fresno State. And we cap the day with Cal and Texas Tech in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. The NJCAA Championship featuring East Mississippi and Iowa Western. As you look at some of the Lions' notable football alumni, LeGarrette Blount, 3-time Super Bowl winning running back, the headliner, along with a lot of other guys that have gone on to have success at the next level.
Yeah, Zadarius Smith, Danico Autry, some great DNs. Such a tradition there.
Flag down. Jonathan Humple reverses fields and scampers out at the 30.
Way to run right there.
Xavier
Hardy. Iowa Western number 71, 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Haven't been many markers against the Reavers tonight.
He was right there on the front side of that play again and just gave somebody a nice big bear hug. Forced Humple to run back around the other side. Yeah, definitely one of the few negative plays that the Reavers offenses have.
Well, Hunter Watson is back out there after he took a shot. Chad Kearns came in and threw the touchdown to Latrell Bonner on the last possession. And now we've got an East Mississippi defender down, and that's Xavion Hardy.
Yep, after running all the way over there to make that tackle.
Hardy, a very intriguing defensive tackle prospect, 6'5", 260.
Yeah.
Four-star prospect, committed to South Carolina out of high school. Still intends on attending South Carolina, but won't be eligible until 2025. So this is a guy that East Mississippi will probably bring back next year.
Yeah.
In pursuit of getting back to this title game.
Yeah, like I said, these guys have, you know, they've been put in some tough positions and had to handle a lot. And, you know, the Iowa Western offense has done a great job. But this has been a good defense this year. They've played really well. It's how you don't get to this game if you're not.
First down, 20, tunnel screen for L.J. Fitzpatrick. And he's belted out across the 30. Bakari McCall, sophomore safety from Shabuda, Mississippi, with 7 D1 offers.
You can see why. Shot like that. Right here he comes, bang. Right, Fitzpatrick's kind of walking that line, right? Walking the tightrope, and as a defensive player, right, you got to play through the echo of the whistle. He wasn't stepping out of bounds there.
That gets the penalty yardage back. They'll still use Watson in the run game.
That's surprising.
Yeah, it is a little surprising. Shows his toughness. He's taken a lot of hits tonight. A couple of them have temporarily knocked him out of the game, but up 48-14 in the fourth quarter. He wants to savor every moment.
Definitely. Definitely.
And shout out to East Mississippi. I mean, this is the first time since the championship's been in Little Rock that a program from Mississippi, a neighboring state, has come out here. They brought the band and cheerleaders. Just haven't had a whole lot to make noise about tonight. Bonner bobbles, and they will call it a catch.
Wow. Way to get control of that. Great job up front, too. They brought a little pressure there. I thought Watson was going to get whacked. Didn't. Oh, yeah. That was a nice catch. The shoes help. The shoes help with finding the feet on the sideline. There's no doubt about that.
A different type of green.
Yes.
More of a neon, like you said.
Highlight.
Another completion, another chain mover for Hunter Watson. He's pumping. He's looking for Bonner again. And some contact before the ball got there, but it's incomplete. And Scott Strohmeyer.
He's coaching, man. He's coaching through this whole thing, which, again, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you've got to do that. If you don't do that, again, we talked about losing focus. You know, coaches can lose focus too and kind of go into cruise control. And Scott Strohmeyer's not doing that right now. He's coaching all the way through this game, which he understands. You know, you don't want your players to lose focus and think it's okay to kind of sleepwalk through the end of this thing.
Humple out to the perimeter, and that looks like a face mask. Bakari McCall converging from the secondary, and that should tack on 15 to the end of the run. But if you're wondering why,
Personal
we
foul,
wait for the
face
call.
mask, East Mississippi, number 21, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
If you're wondering why, you know, Iowa Western up this much in the fourth quarter is still throwing the football and trying to add on points, it's not about running up the score. This is a showcase game for these players to try and get offers to the next level.
Yeah.
And you have to soak in every opportunity you get to do that. And that's probably why Hunter Watson's still in the game.
Oh, definitely. It is. And you're on the biggest stage of the season.
Junior college football national championship. Iowa Western up big. Well, the Reavers of Iowa Western have put forth another dominant outing in the NJCAA championship. 442 yards of total offense. A couple early touchdown catches for Bryant Williams set the tone.
Yep, you see Humble right here with a little split zone to finish the drive. And then Watson just kind of almost losing his pants and finishing a 45-yarder for a touchdown. And the last one here, a really nice throw to Bonner in the corner of the end zone by Chad Kearns, throwing his first touchdown of the season. Impressive tonight, really, really impressive.
Our game summary as we play on here in the fourth quarter. Multiple touchdowns in each frame for Iowa Western in plus territory with 1st and 10. Jonathan Humble busts loose down the sideline. Humble, touchdown. 45-yard run for the freshman. And he bowls a strike in Little Rock.
What a run. I mean, look, we were talking about, you know, staying focused in Scott Strohmeyer, what he's trying to do over there, and he's doing that, right? That's a great job up front. Humble runs through the line untouched. Doesn't get touched until right there. Again, you miss a couple tackles. You don't fit the run well. You're out of gas mentally and physically as a defense right now, and it's just getting away from you. Great job blocking by Bonner there. You see him with his bright green shoes on, but a great job blocking downfield. You don't get runs like that without receivers blocking downfield.
Well, the way that Iowa Western has just manhandled East Mississippi at the line of scrimmage, perhaps the biggest surprise tonight.
Yeah, let's see if he made it all the way. Yeah, he may be short. I think he's going to be short there.
You're going to feed it to him again if he is short, right? Had that 95-yard touchdown run against Kilgore, and they say it will stand. Remember, the ball came loose at the end. Maybe that's what they were looking at.
Oh.
Doink.
Second one missed. It's obviously not going to be a big deal tonight at this point. You know, at the beginning of the game when you miss one, it could be a big deal. And you mentioned it earlier, right? They had that kickoff return, and East Mississippi was up by a point because of a missed extra point. Now you miss another one, and but at this point, when you're up 54-14, it does not matter.
Buddy Stevens as stunned as anybody on that East Mississippi sideline.
Yeah. You know, I don't think anybody saw this coming. You know, and it's tough. It's tough to lose like this. He's never lost one, right? You see that right there, 5-0 up until this point in NJCAA championship games. Stuff. They got a heck of a football program there. He's done an amazing job. They're back here again after a little bit of a drought. You know, they just ran into a complete football team in Iowa Western.
A well-oiled machine. East Mississippi winners of 8 straight after opening the season 2-2. The two teams that beat them in September, they beat in the MACCC championship. There are conferences that have a playoff, and then you've got the national playoff as well. And East Mississippi actually wound up winning their conference championship playoff series last year, just didn't find a way into the top 4. 9:52 left in a 40-point game. Ty Keys, Southern Miss bounce back. He'll be back at the Division I level next year. He's had some bright moments tonight despite the score.
Yeah, you can see why people are excited about him, right? He does a great job of getting out of the pocket, moving around, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, this D-line has just been absolutely all over him, just getting hit and harassed and moved and touched and all the things that quarterbacks hate. You know, but again, this is a guy that can absolutely play ball.
Well, Keys still out there as he hesitates, lets it go, and completes it. Raymond Blackman, who has East Mississippi's lone offensive score tonight. Numbers for Keys as he passes 200 yards, 33 touchdown tosses this year, the most among any NJCAA D1 quarterback. really good year despite the final result. And Keys is able to fall on top of it and pick up a first down.
Yeah, that worked right there. Take it. Yeah, they've struggled on third down and fumble one forward and move the sticks. That's all right.
That was Keys who engineered an 8-play, 88-yard scoring drive to win it with less than a minute left to play at Hutchinson a week and a half ago. Jalen Jennings with a yard.
That black shirt defense still playing hard. Jack Waddier making the tackle there, number 17.
Yeah, Iowa Western has some reserves out there that haven't seen a ton of time this year.
Yep. Well, that's cool, right? You get a little experience. You're kind of playing in the national championship game. Nice throw. See that arm strength right there. Gets that ball into Jalen York.
And that first catch tonight for York, who had the kick return back in the opening quarter. Cade Wilkerson, the meticulous offensive coordinator, as Buddy Stevens calls him, still coaching as if this was a one-score game.
Yeah, moving fast right now. They got Keys into a little bit of rhythm, couple completions. They've run the ball well. You saw that right there. You know, Benjamin getting around the corner.
Byron Benjamin had over 100 yards against Hutchinson, his second century mark outing of the year. Tunnel screen to Jacoby Moore. 6'4" receiver, holds an FBS offer from Akron. An offense that just wasn't able to get into a rhythm tonight, in large part because they were chasing such a large deficit early on.
Yeah, chasing a big deficit, but at the end of the day, like this defense is suffocating, and they've tackled so well tonight. That's the big thing. When you play an offense like this that wants to throw those quick screens, you've got to tackle, and that's what they've done. And then the other thing that you've got to do is that you've got to move the quarterback around and harass him in the pocket, get him on the ground, hit him. Especially when I mean, this is one of the best, if not the best, you know, junior college quarterback in the country right now.
And even 7 minutes left to play. Wipe away the scoreboard because Mike Blackburn and Cade Wilkerson aren't paying attention to it.
Nope, they aren't.
They're taking this thing play by play, and Marcus Harris slipped on the route, and the ball sails over his head, incomplete. Third down.
Look, you saw Blackburn after that touchdown. Like, he was salty. He went over. He talked to the defense on the sideline. Like, he takes a lot of pride in this. And when you're playing great defense, you don't want to let him. You don't want to let him in the end zone. He knew he had that left-handed shutout going with the special teams touchdown that they gave up, and then they gave one up, and it was only because they didn't tackle.
Third down 10 for East Mississippi. Keys floats it. Jalen York tackled at the 18. Offense will likely stay out there.
Yeah, definitely at this point.
Talk about Scott Strohmeyer passing up on opportunities to go to other levels of college football. Mike Blackburn's done the same in his 15th season. That phone has rang with some pretty cool opportunities over the years.
It's probably going to ring tomorrow.
Or tonight.
Yeah, maybe ringing right now.
Fourth down, Keys with room that way. And out inside the 10 to set up first and goal. Maybe would have liked to see Ty Keys open up the offense by running the football a little more when this game was closer.
Yeah, definitely. And there's, you know, again, you see this big double kind of cross-contained stunt, and if you're a defensive tackle and you got to run all the way out there and you lose contain, it's not a fun feeling. But you know, this is yeah, they're still swarming. Hand off to Benjamin there, goes absolutely nowhere, goes backwards.
How many negative runs have we seen tonight? I mean, it was rather stunning when we saw the numbers for Iowa Western's defense through 12 games. And this was coming into this game, 128 tackles for loss, 58 sacks, 37 takeaways. I mean, you knew this group was legit.
Ridiculous.
You just thought against the athletes that East Mississippi had that maybe they'd be able to find some creases, and they just haven't tonight, as that pass is incomplete. Canarius Johnson, the Norfolk State commit, targeted for the first time tonight. There's a lot of depth at receiver for East Mississippi. They don't recruit tight ends.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you don't recruit tight ends,
fullbacks, they load up on wideouts.
Yeah. And they've stayed in 10 personnel, and that's what they do. This is who they are. You know, they've run into a team tonight that's been able to handle it.
Ty Keys, ball's loose. Walt Gray knocked it loose. Iowa Western says they have it, and they do. That's an appropriate way to put the finishing touches on this one. Still 5 minutes to play. Iowa Western on the verge of back-to-back titles. Now the NCAA women's volleyball semifinals start tomorrow night on ESPN and the app. 3 #1 seeds and the #2 seed. Pitt squares off against Nebraska at 7 Eastern, followed by the defending champion Texas Longhorns taking on the Wisconsin Badgers. The winners play in the national title game Sunday at 3 Eastern on ABC. Iowa Western, 54 points tonight. Among the leaders all time in most points scored in an NJCAA national title game, and maybe a chance at some more points. That's the first carry of the night for Trevor Burnett, the redshirt freshman.
Close. 1 point right behind East Mississippi there. You see in 2015 Northwest Mississippi put up 66.
This is also at the moment tied for the 3rd largest margin of victory if this holds, at 54-14 in NJCAA history. 56, the widest margin between teams in an NJCAA title game, and you got to go way back to 1957. Burnett again into plus territory. Well, they might get to 60 tonight. They cannot stop this running game. And give credit to the guys up front. Iowa Western averages more than 300 pounds across the offensive line, and those guys have time and time again just carved out holes for these backs.
Yeah, they have. They've done a great job up front. Again, you know, they're over 300 pounds, but like watching them at practice this week, they don't look too heavy. They're light. They move really well. And they've done a good job against a very athletic front for East Mississippi.
Chad Kearns back at quarterback. A pass play. Kearns up the sideline, and contact in the secondary. Kyrell Jordan, who doesn't have a catch since late October. 5'7" receiver from Bellevue, Nebraska, was targeted.
Pass interference. East Mississippi, number 29. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Shannon Blair commits the pass interference penalty, and Iowa Western is still trying to score here with 3.5 minutes left. Like we said, I mean, this is a showcase game for a lot of these guys, especially the ones that didn't see a ton of playing time in closer games earlier this year. Iowa Western 5 one-possession wins this season.
Yeah, this is not how they've won a lot of football games this year.
They won by 40 in the semis against the Kilgore team down to its backup quarterback. And there goes Trevor Burnett. They will get to 60. Incredible.
entire drive was Trevor Burnett right there. And you see him run, walks the tightrope, gets in, great block downfield.
Third touchdown run for the Joliet, Illinois native. Joliet, excuse me. Making Joliet, Illinois proud.
You.
Well, 3:24 left. That was one of the quicker scoring drives tonight. 3 plays, 81 yards in 96 seconds.
Yeah, Burnett did it all, right? That boy jumped a couple spots here.
Yeah.
You see him right there.
Better hope they don't get the ball back.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Look, 3:24.
Thank you.
As fast as he just took the football down and scored. They could eclipse that 66.
Guys like Chad Kearns and Trevor Burnett, freshmen. I mean, we could see him back here next year.
That's the thing, right? Like they did throw the ball one time. He took a shot down the field. Whoa, look at that. 51 rush yards to 335 for the Reavers. Run the football, play great defense. That's a recipe for winning right there. But again, they did a great job. You know, Watson threw the ball down the field. Their first couple touchdowns were passes to the backside of the backfield, and you know, Bryant Williams had a couple really nice catches. That's just a complete win. Every phase of the game. You know, they had that one kickoff return. That was it. And one lapse on a drive where they missed some tackles.
This is just, as you would say, hard to wrap your head around.
Yes, it is. It really is. You know, coming into it, this is not what you anticipate.
East Mississippi went to the #1 team, Hutchinson, a week and a half ago. A team, by the way, that beat Iowa Western by 2 touchdowns. And the Lions beat the Blue Dragons at their place. Never could you have seen this type of route unfolding in this game, but
no, you couldn't, and I guarantee you everybody on that East Mississippi sideline is as shocked as we are, right? You know, when you're losing like that, it's hard. You know, it's hard to wrap your head around how did this just happen? And I'm sure Buddy Stevens is thinking that right there. You know, Iowa Western scored touchdowns on 5 straight drives tonight.
Ty Keys pushed out. Another tackle for loss for Iowa Western. I mean, we've spent so much of tonight praising this defense, and deservedly so. But I mean, the offense has put up the video game numbers this evening.
They have, and then again, a lot of it is, you know, it's Watson. I mean, he played a ridiculous football game.
Ty Keys still in there.
They did a great job tonight offensively, kind of mixing things up. You know, it was the run, it was the QB run, it was the quick pass. Whereas on the other side, right, East Mississippi's never really been able to establish anything. Nice completion here.
Another catch for Marcus Harris.
Yep.
Kent State bounce back. Sure, we'll see him at the Division I level again soon.
Yeah, nice throw by Keys there, again showing that arm strength. You know, sitting on the hash and throwing the ball to the far numbers.
Well, this has been a rout tonight, but it's been a great partnership. Year 2 of the NJCAA and ESPN. Second year we've had the football championship on ESPNU. Scott Strohmeyer.
Rain jacket on.
That's the 3rd time he's had the championship Gatorade dumped on him. A familiar feeling from last season. But we'll have the men's basketball and women's basketball national title games early March, or rather late March, early April on ESPNU, as well as all the other sports championships on ESPN+. So A lot of ways to access NJCAA athletics, and there's so many great stories at this level that we've been able to showcase tonight, but some great players across all sports as well. I mean, how many of these guys are going to contribute right away at the Division I level next season? I mean, we showed you the promo at halftime. Over 300 NJCAA football players will be featured in bowl games this year.
It's amazing.
And here comes another back. I think that's Tristan Spear, the first-year offensive coordinator. Mike Blackburn just got his bath in the background.
Yep. There's no more hydration left on the sideline.
Mike Blackburn been here with Scott Strohmeyer since the jump. Could be the final play. It's a 4th down completion. Denarius Johnson's first catch. EMCC does not have to run another play. And that will do it. Iowa Western goes back-to-back. The Reavers rout East Mississippi in the 2023 NJCAA Football Championship.
That's so hard to do. It's so hard just to get here. To win like that.
Scott Strohmeyer avenging the 2014 loss to East Mississippi in the title game.
Yeah, great job by Strohmeyer and his staff.
You see him?
Second straight title.
Two times in a row.
Hey, look, you know,
Back to back.
it's impressive.
And that's about the pinnacle as a junior college athlete. I mean, you're only given about 2 years.
That's exactly
maybe a
right.
red shirt at this level, but I mean, you talk about taking full advantage of a tenure, and many returners from last year's title team, including Jalen Pettis, who had some huge plays for the defense tonight. Scott Strohmeyer already getting interviewed by some of the local media that traveled down to Little Rock from Council Bluffs. We'll be joined here momentarily by the championship QB, Hunter Watson. And he is with us, mic'd up down on the field now. Hunter, congratulations on winning the NJCAA championship. Tell us about your journey, man. You were at Division II, Arkansas Monticello, about 90 miles south of here the previous 2 seasons. You jumped in the transfer portal. Iowa Western took a chance on you. Now you're a national champion.
Yes, sir. Without Coach Strohmeyer and Coach Spear, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I just want to say I'm truly blessed to be a part of this moment and lead this team to be able to get the victory tonight. I mean, I'm at a loss of words. This is nothing but God right here, and I praise him no matter what. All praise goes to him.
Hunter, talk a little bit about the game tonight. Did you think you were going to be as effective with your legs? Did you see the QB counter and the run game being a part of it, a big part of it tonight?
Yes, sir. We had that game plan going in. I mean, that's what we've done all year. I mean, the QB run has it's worked for us excellent, and it's worked for us excellent, and I mean, it kept working. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, and you were able to keep your pants up on that long touchdown run, man, which is important, man. That's important.
Hey, Hunter, what's next for you, man? You've got the FCS offer from A&M Commerce, D2, NAIA. When are you hoping to make that decision to get back to the next level?
I think I'm going to be making my decision on Monday. I got to go on a couple more visits, and then I think I'll be signing on Monday.
Where can we find your big decision? Social media. Drop your handles.
Yes, sir. At Hunter K. Watson.
Okay.
Nice.
Hunter, congratulations.
Yes,
great effort tonight, and go celebrate with your teammates.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Hunter Watson accounts for 5 touchdowns tonight, 61-14. Iowa Western back-to-back NJCAA champions, and this is one of the most impressive performances we have ever seen in a junior college football championship.
Complete domination, great defense, run game. Hunter Watson was amazing tonight. Congratulations, Scott Strohmeyer. and the Reavers football team.
Well, once again, our final score, Iowa Western 61, East Mississippi 14. For Brandon Noble, producer Joel Kate, director Eric Singer, and our entire crew, I'm Chris Sylvester saying so long from Little Rock. Congratulations to the Iowa Western Reavers, the 2023 NJCAA Division I Football National Champions. Coming up next on ESPNU, it's Portraits, Roy Williams. And with that, we say good night from Little Rock.